in Canada this weekend than you guys get in the US. Long weekend coming up next weekend, but we will be here on Monday. So there's that. Here is the US dollar. I zoomed out a little bit this afternoon because I wanted to get a higher perspective on what we've been doing over the past little while here. Frank Caberna coming up in about 45 minutes. We will get his opinion on the happenings of the week because there's been a lot coming off not one but two inflation prints and a whole bunch of comments. The dollar just kind of working its way into this wedge, and I want to ask him about this because we're stuck in this range more or less if you zoom out high enough on the US dollar. Yes, there are individual days where it has outside moves, but for the most part, nothing really happening as far as currencies are concerned at this point. Here is Walmart. Speaking of the opposite of nothing happening, 7% for Walmart. Huge day today, just took out 64. Saw some volume coming back in there just before we came on at 2 o'clock, but day highs incoming here for Walmart off of earnings. GME, yeah, more. Saw a bloodbath related meme stock headline coming into 2 o'clock here, but yeah, 21, almost 22% here once again today, back to $30 here for GameStop. It's been ugly. That's about as mixed as you're going to see the S&P 500. A lot of things kind of flat, which usually means, and is true today, the overall market kind of flat. All the gainers offsetting the decliners, 0.2% right now, in fact, for the S&P 500. Still positive, though. Nice move off the lows coming early on this morning. Yeah, Dow 40,000, tech back to the upside. Chinese specifically, we were touching on some of the ADRs this morning, but a lot of Chinese strength coming back into the market. Let's get into, speaking of, what we were discussing. If you were with us in the first hour, as per usual, we were wondering if there was going to be a bounce this morning on some of these. Definitely not the case here, guys, specifically for GME and AMC. It's been downside again.
Well, you know, it could be something else to trade after the meme stocks, of course. We may have a video about something like that as well as AMD. AMD just off the bottom. Relatively new position right now. I'm going to go right over to AMC in a second. Just want to talk about it because we've been buying this VWAP dip here on AMD right now. We've got our new hat on right now as we went to go. You know, the Blue Jays need as much help as they can.
They need more help than a pretty hat.
We got a pretty hat on right now.
It's
mood day right now. We're still long. Walmart, $1 in the money. AMC, I'm up on it today. We only had one trade. And no one's going to like it, but it was a short at 5. So we talked about going long at 460. I mean, that's exactly the level that we wrote down here was 460 long today, this morning on AMC. The bottom of the day is 458. So I just feel like we should have been long down there, not short at 5. But we made the same basic money that we would have. But the long at 460 still continues to be awesome. So that was a trade there that we'd like to have back and at least put it in our account. So that's what we had there. And then GameStop this morning was really a piece for me because here it is right here. So this is what we talked about. AMC long, 460 bottom long. I mean, that's exactly what that is right there, 460. That is the bottom of the day. And then if you're going to look over here at what we talked about for GME was long 32. So we're able to actually wind up making more money on the long GME than we did on the short AMC, although they're pretty close. This was it right here early, long 32s. My best out to hold 20% back there was 34.17, so $2 winner there on GME. But yeah, pretty good. Seems like they want to hold. I mean, it's not good when you're looking at percentage-wise, but you know what?
It's not bad.
It's been holding. We've seen worse levels than that here today. Also, we're in a $1 winner as well on Amazon short right here under VWAP. So that's coming back in as well. So AMD long, Amazon short, Walmart long, almond milk and tea and coffee tea. Pretty good. No sugar, nothing. Just straight. Using Tim Hortons points. That's why I got the large.
I'm like...
whenever you cash in the points, you might as well.
No, that actually sounds pretty tasty. I'm not...
That's tasty.
Yeah, I'm like not usually...
I saw my guy at Tim Hortons as well.
That sounds legit. It sounds pretty tasty to me. I might try that one next time. I love those like summer cool...
Yeah, that's why.
Like drinks.
That's
like the cold brew.
Went for a walk.
Yeah.
Protests outside.
Yeah. So like I don't really have much to add to AMC. I did
get some babies.
I scalped AMC a couple times and that's about it. The new ones are not, it's not AMC and GameStop. The new ones today are whatever Kraken is. And why do they spell Kraken with a C? I have no idea. Kraken begins with a K. And FFIE. And I was just telling Sean, when the second the second FFIE went from like normal trading to absolute like nonsensical trading, like halt after halt, this moved to the downside after this. I basically told myself, okay, it's moving unlike anything I've really seen with these stocks, and there's so many of them that I'm just gonna sit here and I'm gonna take reps. And I basically said after this halt down, like win, lose, or draw, I'm gonna play net short in front of the $2 level, and I'm gonna be willing to stop myself out. I'm gonna get a feel for how it moves, because it's just moving unlike anything I'm seeing, but it feels like it's a breakdown. So I'm just gonna keep the mental shots in there and try see if I can't work into a short trade. If it gets past $2, I was taking it out. I had some lower highs that I'd take outs on, and then I wanted to hold something into VWAP, right? So I was willing to give something up. That said, there was one trade that's the reason I'm down. The scalp trading was actually good. This false halt is why I'm down. Because when it broke, it all started with me looking for a false halt at 160. It was like breaking this 165 zone. And I'm like, oh baby, it's gonna halt down and I'm gonna get VWAP. That false break, and I got out, flipped 20 cents on that name. So at the end of the day, like I'll probably end up flattish on the stock, but I should be up because that one stop should have been like 3 or 4 cents. Generally speaking, the mechanics of how I will do that trade when it's about to halt is to put my stop order first in case it doesn't halt, instead of trying to get that liquidity. So that's what I did. I got on the offer first and then try to throw the stop order. That's the wrong mechanics. Protect yourself first, then try to get the fill going into the halt. Right now it looks great. We're short at 177. It's going to get to 120. But trust me, when you're intending on having 3 or 4 cents of risk and you lose 20 cents, like this will just get me back to green. And Kraken is the other one. So okay, Kraken's all the way back at the bottom. Anyways, that doesn't matter. I was about to say Kraken's the other one, and Kraken, yeah, so when I typed in, be careful everybody, 50 cents could reverse, I did not see that coming at all. Okay. What goes up must come down.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I just want to say something like, we talk about this on the midday show. It's like, you want to trade names that are moving around and there's volume there, but at the end of the day, I think it was good of Neil to say right there that, you know, after all of this, it's about taking the reps. And if you're flat on the day or slightly down or slightly up on a stock, you know, what you're trying to do is prepare yourself for the next possibility, even right now. Like just keep on trading it. I mean, it's almost 2 billion shares. So although these stocks are moving like crazy, there's really, you know, you have to hit your levels and you still have to trade it properly. So yeah, some of these names, here it is, our CRKN, just because we're talking about it. There it is, 50 cents just 2 seconds ago. It was up 1,000%. And then now it's all the way back down. And look at this. Look where it falls and bounces off of.
How is it not halted?
VWAP. I don't know. Right down into VWAP again. See? So like no matter what you're doing, you could be long 20 cents now. In the money a lot. 8 cents on 20 cents. In the money another 70, 80% right now if you just use VWAP. So, I mean, no matter how you're trading, watch out now. These stocks are hot fire. 2.2 billion. This is going to be a record, actually.
I think so.
No, it is. This is going to set the daily record. It's only 2-point-something billion.
It was,
and it was like not Motorola, but one of those.
Didn't Mullen? I thought Mullen challenged the record recently, and then
yeah, but I don't think it got to 2.
Yeah,
this is already 2.2
This is already it's
billion.
going to be 4 at this rate.
We could look it up.
Why
we could ask Gemini. Sharif loves Gemini. We could ask Gemini what is the largest amount of shares traded.
I'm asking Copilot.
On a public market, you know, because I think it's not Motorola, it's Nokia. I think it was Nokia. Anyways, we'll find out. And there it is right now, back down into 22. Sorry. All right, let's go back to the desk, and we'll just keep on losing our mind over this Kraken over here.
There's actually a couple of these that are going crazy right now. Here's another one, BRSH, 123 million on this one. Just did the exact same move as that Kraken, made a high and just got absolutely smoked. was also up more than 200% and right back to just 75%. So yeah, a few crazy penny stocks flying around here.
Oh, there were so many, Brendo. FFIE, there is this one that you mentioned. Brush, there was ASTS as well. This one was, doing well. It's up, I believe, 55% on the day. Had a trade or two on that. All of a sudden AMC and GME are not there, but these other ones that are sub $1 all of a sudden started making a move.
And it's funny, we started the week by saying expect things to be a little weird this week with rotation coming out and going in and coming out and going in. Here is NVIDIA next on the board. We were talking about semiconductors leading the way, if you zoom out a little bit, leading the way yesterday in a big way. Huge, huge, huge move for all of these yesterday. We tried to get going early on this morning through new highs there, but it's come well back since.
Yeah, and Wedbush giving NVIDIA the nod today with a price target upgrade of $1,000. AMD also had a good headline. It was moving up aggressively as well. Intel also in the headline, as well as Wolf Research gives them an upgrade, basically says, even though they're not going to make money until about 2027 off this foundry business, they like the foundation, and decent move for both today.
Yeah, I'm just seeing another one. I mean, there's so many of these right now. HSCS. 21 million shares doing the same thing right now, about to get smoked probably after day highs.
Oh, 21 million shares, that's it?
That's it. Again, and that's the thing, like, first of all, remember Kraken off of VWAP just now? So, like, this is FFIE. This might be the last thing on, I have no idea. But it goes down to 120. It bounces off VWAP. I just punched that, like the second it reclaims VWAP, it's like, no. If it's going to be that obvious and hold VWAP, I'm not going long this stock because I feel like if these are unwinding, it made, like I had a reason for what I was trying to get reps on because I thought after the big halt down it was a short, but off of VWAP, I really don't want to mess around with this at that price. So it bounced off VWAP. You just saw it now happen twice. I think that's absolutely insane. NVIDIA, let's go to the chip names. NVIDIA was super strong really, really early at that 950 break, and now you're seeing it walk itself to the downside. Now, we were both of the notion, and I think it's still true, like AMD has just been, it's been beaten up a little bit more. There's no question about it. On the daily chart, NVIDIA's at or near highs. AMD was trying to test the 50 period today, stair-stepping it up after getting Huadong. So that's the one I thought had more room to run off the bottom. And it was much better early off of VWAP than it was late, because early I get out too early and it breaks 165 and they come back into this 165. It just broke down. I think NVIDIA is taking some of these to away from the promised land, for lack of a better term. I'm not going to do anything till it either bounces 63 or 60 on AMD, because I came in thinking 159 to 160 was the go zone, and then VWAP retraces from there. But there is one name that we have not mentioned in the chip space recently. We've mentioned SMCI, but not Marvell. And so very quietly, Marvell's up 5% and leading the way for the semis. So it's a little bit different from what we're accustomed to, because I can't remember the last time Marvell was leading, and they don't even report till the end of the month. So they've got a ways to go, and much like load this daily chart up a little more, and it doesn't load.
Go.
All right, we're going to do it this way. Much like AMD, it is rounding off some bottoms nowhere near its highs. If this thing gets to 75, 76, Marvell's got a big chance before earnings, and they don't report for a couple weeks.
All right, AMD today. We talked about this. It's on the sticky note, so you know we've got to be on this name. Here's the AMD long, 160, 161. We had that long. Huge move, took 250 on it. Have just been buying it back right now against this, and we're long again AMD right now. So I want to be long this name, and I'm fine with it. So let's just wait to see what winds up happening here. But long AMD, we actually just lost on it here, long 164.50. We talked about this a little bit, but then it came back in, and we sort of bought this dip one more time. So I have an offer at 25, I believe, right now. Did we get that offer? No, we didn't. So at 24s, we'll see if we can get back up to the upside, but I'm going to test it until it breaks, and it looks like we may continue to head lower right now. So we're out of this. My stop is 80s. So yeah, it's not going to withstand this market. We're, by the way, $1.50 in the money right now on Amazon short, as that still bleeds. Again, look at the relative weakness, right? Market down only 0.14 right here, right? And Amazon down 0.91, so of course we're short the name. I don't like the stock. Back over the desk.
You do like the stock.
All right, started off with a nice look at Walmart there, up more than 7%. It's come in a little bit, but better than expected results this morning. Pre-market here for Walmart all the way up to 64 bucks, topping out a couple times above that, on its way back in, as I mentioned, but hasn't done much since the open.
No.
But still a good day here.
Yeah, I suspect we'll probably see some positioning into this in the coming days. Look, strong e-commerce growth, attracting more high-income shoppers. Grocery business doing better because restaurants are more expensive. They raised their full-year guidance. They beat on the top and bottom line. Everything's up here. Net income, $5.1 billion. Compare that to last year on the quarter, $1 2/3 billion. So more than doubling that, Brendo. Great look for them.
Yeah, a big reason why, I was going to bring this up again, big reason why the market isn't a little bit worse off than it would be. I mean, we're making day lows right now, but up here, all of, not all of retail, but a lot of retail, very, very green, along with some of the consumer discretionary names helping to offset some weakness here.
Early on, we just put down, we knew we wanted to get Walmart. Just like AMD, it's on here. It's the second idea. It just says dips into VWAP. So we actually just said, let's just take that early. So when it came in, there it was. So a nice move up, and then we noticed that, okay, market opens up. And this was pretty early. It was like 9:31, 9:32. So the market had just opened. We actually put on a decent position, so we're pretty proud of that. Our stop was just a break. So not only did we have VWAP, but we also had 63, and we had some wicked bottoms there of 62.80, 62.90. So 62.90, then we bought it, goes all the way to the upside right now. Now we're at $1, that's a $1 win, that's a $1 win, and we're still in 10% of this name. So still there at 64. It's a good trade. I like Walmart up 7%, finally starting to break out here. It doesn't look good on our daily because we still have that split, but there it was, nice move. Now, just now, taking out all-time highs in and around this $61, $62 spot. So great break, great report. I still think it fades in the next couple days, but for right now, Walmart continues to go higher and higher and higher. And this one, I like this stock.
Oh, you like Amazon.
I love
That's
Amazon.
the thing.
I actually
Like,
want to buy more Amazon.
I know, it's like, you know, you can trade the stock
Wow,
long or short
184.20,
regardless of what you
yeah.
feel about it, because I know you said it before, you like Amazon more than you like Walmart, but when Walmart's the long, you take the long, and when Amazon's the short, you take the short. You don't trade your own book. We have stories about people that do that, and it's ugly. Although I will notice this much. First of all, great trade on Walmart, but you're supposed to keep this, you know, like the kids these days, it's like they keep the sticker
off.
and the tag and all that stuff stays on the new hat.
Pour moi?
That's the thing. That's what you're supposed to do. This guy's got the fancy
I know, I
top,
took
got
off
the
the
fancy and this?
I didn't realize this. Yeah, I got the cold coffee here. It's all good. It's all good. Well, I mean, you know.
They got the air
A little
on.
bit for
I'm
both. A
freezing.
little bit for both.
My hands
Is it
cold.
freezing in here
Dude,
right now?
I'm getting like goosebumps.
It's so gorgeous outside.
In here, it's nice.
Oh my God, it's nice in here. Yeah.
Cold. I get like I don't know. I think
Shout
it's
out
like
to
the vents or
HVAC
something.
man.
I'm gonna get a tea at some point.
Yeah, you should go get a tea. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Walmart. Yeah, so I mean, I just went over that. I'm still long. I'm going to stay in it for a minute. That's for sure. And I did just because we're talking about Amazon. I just covered. So let's get out of that. And we did get stopped out of AMD because it took out the bottom. So relatively nothing burger day there on AMD, but we're going to try to get into something else here. One thing that we did go back and forth with, which is crazy. Look at Square where it is now. Look where we got stopped out right there, 71.30, the low of the day for Square. So, you know, that's another good one for me. Nice move up. And if you just sort of zoom back out here, we just kind of coming into this area. We should have held it all the way to 71, maybe flat. But anyways, Square. I was trying to trade off VWAP, but this one, again, this will be my biggest red name of the day. Still nothing. We have one red stock, but yeah, that one we got tripped out at 71.30. That was a tough one there for Square, but I still.
Why did it rebound?
I like the stock.
Well, hold on a second. that's not a halt down on Square, is it?
Halt?
What's with that weird gap?
I don't know what's up with this gap, actually. I think it just gapped me down there. Greg, now that I noticed that, now I'm even more mad.
Well, I'm curious as to why Square is down. Look, we're not going to talk. We'll get to the Chinese 8 hours in a second. I didn't trade any, but I'm in Robinhood because everything crypto was weak today. So I'm a little surprised Square has that strength. I didn't even get into Hood until it broke the bottom. So broke bottom, made a low, and then a higher low off the pre-market low. So support turns into resistance, shorted it. It just bounced off 18, going for the reload with a stop in here at the quarters, and then see if it gets back down to the 18 level. So, you know, again, I don't necessarily know why Square made that bounce, but it doesn't really matter why. Coinbase got smashed today. You can look at that too if you want. But crypto, I mean, Bitcoin held 65,000 most of the day, but these other names got smoked. Let's get back to the desk and move on to some Chinese ADRs.
Yeah.
These days, that's all it needs.
Oh, yeah.
We were just talking about NVAX going crazy right now as well. Another highly shorted name. Here's JD.com. We were talking about some of these Chinese ADRs this morning. Earnings from JD early this morning, better than expected, but yeah, that didn't take long to get faded. We are trying to test some of these highs, intraday highs anyways right now, 34.20 for JD.
Yeah, these Chinese ADRs always have a way of selling off after the bell. We'll keep an eye on that, but they beat revenue. They did really well. Revenue grew 7% year over year to $36 billion. All their segments grew year over year. It was a really good look for them. They also beat on the bottom line. They printed 78 cents per share. The street was looking for 64. The CEO says they're going to continue to improve their user experience, which is, according to her, reason for the growth driver.
This one, I mean, it depends on where you look, but 32% short on NVAX. Still going here. Heavy volume behind this too.
You would think it did there. We just went long on the NASDAQ right now. So, oh, Chinese ADRs. Oh yeah, forgot all about a Chinese ADR name that we played today. It was the banger. It was quite the trade. Let me look at this. I mean, look at Alibaba today. Thank you. Come again. I mean, this just was ripping. Then all of a sudden it was like, oh, there's a report out from Citron, and I was like, okay, I'll buy the 84 break finally. And then we watched it go from 81 all the way to 84. And then the Citron news came. You could see sort of the volume picking up here. And it actually went against me 30-40 cents. So when we zoom back in here, and again, I like the stock. I like the fact that it was long. We've talked about this name for a while. There was a good piece. I can't believe AMD's back up now. Okay, so right down here, 83.60. It was a good little bid there. And then all of a sudden it was boom, goes the dynamite up to the upside. And then there it goes again, Alibaba, our last piece out right here. So, I mean, I feel like we did real good. That was 86.50 from a long 83.50. So $3 on Baba, up 7. If you ask me to choose between two names that are up 7% today, Alibaba or Walmart, I choose Alibaba, and Pikachu, I also choose you. So on that note, what's going on over there? Because Tencent had a good report, Alibaba now going to the upside. We talked about FXI.
JD had a good report.
JD PDD reports on the 22nd that we figured out earlier.
22nd's a big day.
Yeah, there's something else reporting that day.
Who are they?
I'm going to ask Daniel Shea about that tonight when she comes live on the recap show.
That's obviously NVIDIA. Before we get back to the desk to talk about the weed stock.
Look at the NASDAQ, by the way.
Just very quickly, the NASDAQ with a big bounce. If you're wondering why in the heck Kraken didn't halt in that move, like 50 all the way down to 15. So if a stock is underneath 75 cents, right? So underneath a 75-cent price, it's either 15 pennies or a 75% move within the halt bands. So like within that 5 minutes, it's got to do like a 75% move is nuts within a few minutes, within like 5 minutes, or 15 pennies. So basically it was coming really close to halting and then not halting at all. Even I wasn't sure about that. I actually had to ask the floor manager, I'm like, can we get a look at the halt bands? Because I don't know exactly what they are. Underneath that 50-cent level. I turned to Sean and said, you know what, I'm going to take a rep here if it bounces off VWAP, breaking 20s back upside. It let it break 20 to the downside. The second it was above, I hit 21.5 with a stop underneath 20 to take a shot, just looking for it to break back out into this level off of VWAP. If that can't happen, I'll look for another trade to set up. But let's get on to Can I Bus?
Yeah, back to Earth here a little bit for some of these. We had a huge move up throughout the lunch hour there. This is just the ETF, MSOS gets all the way to 10, or 10.50 I should say. We're back to $10 right now. So, I mean, long and short of it is the Justice Department supposedly going to come out with the details of the rescheduling. White House released a statement. You found this note from President Biden as well.
Yeah, President Biden taking to X, Brendo, and posting the following message. Too many lives have been upended because of our failed approach to marijuana. So today, the Justice Department is taking the next step to reclassify marijuana a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3 drug under federal law. But as you pointed out to me off camera, we don't really know what the implications of that are. So what are the punishments going to be, penalties, et cetera. So more details to come.
Yeah, and I think that's what everyone's waiting for. They also didn't say when this was going to happen. It was just Thursday at some point. So we'll keep an eye out.
Look, there's a few in the chat saying, hey, we're talking about cannabis, we're messaging you all morning long, like, you know, get into it, all that good stuff. When the news did hit midday, and we mentioned it in the midday chat, I think I posted it, and then Sharif was able to read it. I was in it several times, well, 3 specifically. We had the long, I didn't get the news until here. I had the long breakout, and then, of course, I get wicked out. I made the bottom wick on CGC, because I wasn't even out of this long when I reloaded it and then took it all out for like the hit down there. Kind of, if you're going to go in at the same price, I could have given it down into like 10, but the way that it flushed down, it was a massive volume spike at 1 o'clock, and I essentially got the worst of it, and then it came right back up. I said, okay, let's get in at VWAP again. If it holds VWAP, you can see that it did. And then I trailed out when it failed the high of the day. And that's pretty much exactly the moment that, like, another thing about it, the press release came out, and then the volume spiked up again right after I had gotten out. It is what it is. You know, if you live and you learn. Like, I know in that situation, it was such a clean break at 11, there was a chance to get back in off 11. Candidly, I didn't even have the level 2 up at that moment. I got out, kind of flipped to something else. I was looking at AMC again just to see if that would go. And then by the time 11 had gone, forget about it. I think you get back into VWAP, these names can be good to go. You know, looking at it's a bounce play off of VWAP is probably the next for me. And it's CGC that I want to trade. There's nothing wrong with MSOS. You know, it's up as well, 5% underneath VWAP. There's nothing wrong with Tilray. CGC is the one that I've traded before, and so that's the one I want to play today. It looks like it's the strongest of the bunch. And yes, they are smoking, but a little bit of a pullback here into 11 even.
All right. I did not trade any of those names today, but we just took a little piece out of the Qs as it goes up to the upside one more time here on the NASDAQ. So we just take out one little piece as it gets to the 50-period moving average. Yeah, we've talked about some names here. Remember we talked about Smile Direct. Scott's Miracle Grow earlier on today. So I think this is a name that if you were looking at something, not moving about the weed names, but that would be something else. And then GRW, oopsies, that's Walmart again. GRWG was Grow Generation Corp. Let me see if this is moving around. Or is it just the growers? Yeah, so this is another name that we don't, not too many people talk about, but there it is, GRWG with a nice move upside as well. This chart, I mean, they all look bad if you zoom out far enough, but this one's pretty good holding above this. 50 period at 250 and now at 290. So not too bad, but yeah, as these names go, the safest of the bunch I think you would just want to stick with, maybe MSOS. Pretty easy when we saw it spike up. Nice top there at 1050 again on MSOS. So no matter what's happening, I mean, these companies, there's still nothing magical about them, man. They're growing weed and selling it. So, you got
simple business, right?
It's a very, very simple business and one that is easily, easy to break into.
This is why you have to see The Wire.
Yeah.
Because there's a line Method Man drops in that.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
really?
He's like, you slinging dope and coke in Baltimore. Anyone that ain't got $500,000 to their name.
Right, exactly. So everyone's doing it.
Anyways, it's just a TV show. Drugs are bad, everybody. But because you said Smile Direct, I actually didn't. I don't remember them going to the OTC markets.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it's not just that they're at the OTC. It's one like the print today was 1/10 of 1 cent is where the volume is actually. There's no print up here. 1/10 of 1 cent. I have no idea what the valuation is for Smile Direct Club, but they're not dead yet, apparently. Still alive and kicking on the OTC markets. I had no idea. I really didn't know. You mentioned it, and I'm like, okay, well, what's going on?
Yeah, it used to be SDC.
Yeah, it was SDC, and that's what happens. Now, we talked about this earlier. We can trade penny stocks here, but we can't trade penny stocks on the OTC. Even if that was doing volume, we wouldn't be trading it. But no VWAP yet for CGC. Maybe there's still time to get 11 in here. Just got to be a little bit patient with it. Do not want to get, if I go long up there, and I really think it's this resistance into support, I'm not giving it a chance to walk down into that support level. Just going to double check Marvell, because if the market rolls over, I feel like this could be, it's up so much. If all of the chips are pulling back,
I want to look for the opportunity for a breakdown underneath VWAP on Marvell, but it's not there just yet. Just got to be a little bit patient with it, I think.
All right, so we are now done. Thank you for all of that and for your patience as we go through the rundown. Walmart just gets right back up into the high of the day again. So yes, this and the whole show is sponsored by Real Trading. So go find out realtrading.com if you want to use the same platform as us and be able to do all this kind of stuff. Look at this, 64.50 at 64.30, sorry. Looks like the high, we're bouncing off right now, 64.15. This is Walmart. We're still in this name, so I feel like we might as well get out. I mean, especially if this market wants to get to the downside. And I don't know. We're already long the market right now. We actually got, we haven't hit this in a while. We actually got reloaded down there, so a couple outs again on the TQs. So far, so good. Let's see if we can really get going there. So we're already long the market. I feel like putting an offer in and around 64. Yeah, but we're right here right now, so what do you have to worry about? Maybe we'll just ride this 50 period. So, okay. Well, I mean, that's pretty much right here. 63, I don't even have a stop for Walmart. All right, 63.89 right now for the stop. Yep. Oh, I must have had to stop because that did not trigger. So, all right. Anyways, that's what we're going to do. Oh, 62.89 was my last stop. Okay, so that's funny. I was saying to 63.89
Use
right
the
now.
same number.
So, same number, but now $1 in the money.
I do the same thing. I love it. You always use
So
the same number.
just to show you, if that's what my old stop was, that means I had 20 cents worth of a stop to make $1 again. So just to show you, these trades do exist. Push offer, enter. Now we're now posted on that. And then, of course, as we watch the NASDAQ start to go back up to the upside, you know we layered into this as well. So, all right, let's get ready to go. Nice move to the upside now with the TQQs, 63.40. And still trying to go. I think a VWAP retracement would be fantastic, taking more out at the 50-period moving average.
Mateo, I don't want to touch coin today, not long. And there was like the question that was just on, what do you think of Coinbase at 200? I've been overall bearish on the stock ever since it kind of broke this trend line. And the way that it's rejected today, and some other names are strong, but this 200 level looks like a potential flat bottom break. So I always say, like, if you have a preferred direction in a stock, sometimes trading around a key level should be focused on that direction instead of trying to look for both. And you know, to each their own. I get it. It's clearly a support level. You've seen it bounce a couple of times. It actually bounced for $2 the last time you saw it, only because we just added these at Real Trading, and there's 3 just in testing now. It's Cardano, Solana, and Doge. Just got added to the platform. Of course, we've already had Bitcoin in there. But lit grab trade underneath 45 actually happened on this bad boy. It doesn't do as much volume, so you'll need to see it pick up a little bit. But it's good to have these crypto names out there. I think that's going to be a boon when you start to see a little bit more movement in some of them. Just to point out, GME is still hunting for this bottom break, down around 28, and we still haven't even seen 27, which was that halt price going all the way back to the 13th. On Monday, you had that initial halt and then sort of breakup level was $26.89. I'm not forgetting that one. If it does press down, it's about that 27 level that I'd be looking for a dip in GameStop, which is absolutely dying, by the way. I did just take some out of Robinhood. I'm going to go ahead and try to rinse and repeat it. We got that lower high. As long as it continues to make lower highs down into 18, I want to try and short the pops in Robinhood. AMC, I don't think is going to be a thing this afternoon. But GME might because it's been weaker. I like Apple in here, but it's just not quite pressing into that support yet. But 189.5. You got once, twice yesterday, and then today, like 189.75, so like 25 cents above yesterday's support. It's able to catch a bid. So I do like Apple here. It's also a red to green story because it closed at 189.72. So that 3/4 is also the previous closing price.
Shout out to LL Cool J, but we're not calling this a comeback for the NASDAQ quite yet because we're just getting some out here. So we're now out of a third of our NASDAQ trade as it does get right back to the 50-period moving average. I mean, this is what we're doing. It's much more calm down. It's wait for the best opportunities. We came in here into $63. We had sort of seen this as a potential long. I mean, look at this. right? I mean, it's been hitting here, so we're fine with that, right? We're fine with taking this long, so that's what we did. So we took the long here on the TQQs, and of course, if you're just watching for the first time, you could also trade SQQ every time I do the TQs if you want to go the other way. But for me right now, this is what we're doing. I like it. It's only smaller priced name and moves triple that of the index, right? So that's why I prefer it. Like I said, to each their own, and everybody can just sort of choose whatever they want to trade. But for me, I prefer looking at the TQQs. Walmart, we already have our out. Yeah, let's go over to NVIDIA. I mean, so we just got thrown around a little bit here on AMD just to show you, like, we were making money, then we gave it all, basically gave it all back. I mean, we gave everything back that we were in the money. But I mean, until we break really above VWAP, we're still up. I want to go long this name. Like, we're long the market, which is kind of like the proxy for it, so that if the market rips, we're good, right? Because we have this. But at the same time, I also want to be on this one as well. AMD is a good trade today. We actually had the long early down here at 160, which is ridiculous twice. And then we got out right there. That's 250. Or sorry, that's we didn't have 160 exactly. We had 160.50. So that's $2 right there. But I honestly feel like there's like a possible bottom here, but I don't know. It's all these, we're still making like, boom, boom, boom. The trend definitely here in the afternoon is to the downside, under VWAP, under 50, under 200. I'm not taking it. I'm going to stay away for right now. Because look how well the market's doing as opposed, right? I just feel that right now you're back to the 50 on the TQs. We were able to buy the bottoms, which would be different if we were long AMD at that very bottom. But at the same time, you're coming right back in again. So, all right, I'm going to take some more out here on the NASDAQ just because, whoopsies. Yeah, we'll take some out here. Oh, I have number lock on. That's a problem. We'll take some more out at 44 if we're able to.
I was wanted on.
Then I can't use this thing. Oh, it was off, I mean.
Oh, yeah,
off. Yeah. All right, so we typed that in, and now we're going to get some more out on the TQs. But maybe NVIDIA. People looking at NVIDIA.
You know what's dragging it? It's not, obviously we just showed AMD's week. You saw Apple was at the lows or near that low, almost flat on the day. Google's up 1.25, like 1.25, well above VWAP. So I think this is a strong name. Whether or not I'm able to even get CGC at this point, that's now at 11.5, so I'm still trying to get it at 11, not really back into it. But Google bounces off VWAP, puts in a higher low where there was resistance, 174.25. That's a reasonable dip buy. Just on the notion of try and stay or go long strong stocks and then try to short weak stocks. I think that's the way to go. So that's why I'm not really that interested in coin. I like the way that Apple's going. So even though Apple is at a bottom, I can at least zoom out. And when I look at the overall trend, it's trend support on an upward trend. So yes, it's at the low of the day, but I like what it's doing up at that level. I don't think the same thing about Coinbase in that 200. I actually feel the precise opposite. I know some people are still looking at that, those small cappers, that FFIE trying to bounce off of VWAP. Whoops, I guess they have a warrant, which for some reason was the first, came up in my drop down there. It did bounce and hold off of VWAP with a couple of halts back and forth. So VWAP, I mean, holding pretty nicely on this stock. It's definitely calmed down, and that Kraken's the other one, CRKN. I keep wanting to type K. It's now holding above VWAP as well. So I feel like if these break out, maybe there's like a second salvo that can get into those. I just want to get into the weed name. Like, these are the ones to go. So if I can't get 11s, gonna have to look for another entry, dip buy consolidation somewhere higher on CGC, because that's where I want to be long. That or Google, because those are both trending up at least.
So do you know the name of the company of CRKN?
It's not just Kraken. What
No,
is
it has
it?
nothing to do with Kraken at all. It's
I'm just-
Crown Electronics Corp.
Look, I was actually calling it Kraken because
I know,
all
that's
day
why I
long
like,
Sharif
what
was
do you
saying
guys-
Kraken.
What do you guys even?
Well, you
I think
guys
Sharif
were saying Kraken all day long. I just assumed it was
Sharif
Kraken.
calls. Okay, it's fine, Dara. Don't worry about it. Sharif also calls Google goggles. He calls Apple the dead one. He calls the most funny things, that guy. So shout out to Sharif, my guy over there. But yeah, so yeah, it's not anything to do with Kraken at all.
Well,
it's Crown Electrics Corp. So
at least makes sense why it's a C then.
yeah, I have to, sometimes I have to like bring this back. It's unbelievable that that's what I'm doing, but we're bringing it back. So, all right, so there it is, bring it back to the old school. Right now, TQs, I almost feel like we are a little bit weak here in the market. only because we're under VWAP and holding this 50 period. So I'm starting to get lighter and lighter. I just took a couple more outs there on the futures trade. We'll put a nice spot on there, but at the end of the day, you know, I feel like this has been great dip buy opportunities, and I don't want to throw the rest of this away just because of that reason. So we're going to wait to see what happens here. Now we'll put another offer here at 63.45, and then if that can go, that can go. Walmart, we were going to keep trailing it with this 50-period moving average. I don't use trailing stops other than trailing indicators. So this one right there is 64, so that's good. So let's go now 63.94 as our stop. Put it in. It's set up right now. So as we keep on bouncing off the 50-period moving average, we'll continue to watch that one, hopefully back into the downside, to the upside, sorry. And if it hits the downside, we'll get out. There's another fill for us right there, so not too bad for that. And yeah, we'll keep looking short. We did cover Amazon. I mean, that was a good cover. We did go short there where VWAP was. We had to deal with this a little bit. You know, we lost early on it. Then eventually we were just like, forget it, it's short. And then we took that short. So we were short early, down, flipped long. Those are the reds. And then it was just like, I hate getting thrown around here. I'm just going to go short and wind up holding. So some of this was a really good hold, like down in here, like holding 30% or so probably to get about $1 and then eventually $1.80 or whatever. What is this? 185.80. That out is 184.30, so $1.50. So those wound up being good trades. And then Tesla was a great one as well, as we made the moves up into that level, trying to go short off 176. We wrote down on our sticky note short 176 was not here when we went to 176. Otherwise, that was a $2 banger as well. There goes AMD, finally starting to go back up to the upside. We got tossed around a little bit on that one, but guess what? We still got the TQQs on the board as well, so that's going to make a lot of sense, hopefully. And we'll just wait for 55s or so, get that fill, and then if it runs, it runs. We've got Walmart in the bag right now, and the NASDAQ, and everything is all good. I have not looked at Palantir.
No, we looked at Palantir. Well, I looked at Palantir this morning for about like a minute or so, and kind of, yeah, like what I was getting at was 22 breaks, I'm all over it. But I just didn't see anything else out there. And it's a very, look how choppy it is. 25-30 cent range for most of the day on Palantir. And unless it can get past, well, it's more like 22, check that, 22.10. It needs to break 22 and go a little bit. And then then something can happen. This is way too tight of a range with nothing happening. Like, look at the barcode action. You want something going. That's why we're looking at CGC. I have an order for the breakdown in Coinbase. As long as it's within a buck or two of 200, then I'm going to have the breakdown, you know, 199.99 sitting out there. If it breaks, it breaks. If it doesn't, then obviously we're not going to take the trade. CGC is starting to pull back one more time. So this could be the chance that it gets into VWAP and we look for that long. Just trying to be patient with this. Not going to chase it. Don't think that's the right play. We're just going to be very, very patient. And then Apple. All right, Apple's starting to go past this 190. If I can't get it off of the lows, I'll just look for a higher low around the 190 level instead of 189.70, which was yesterday's close price. Mike, you're absolutely right in the chat. That IPO JDZG, Jade, halted once, twice, and is about to halt a third time in the last little bit. It halted once earlier on today. So recent IPO, it's going from halt to halt at this point. Looks like it's going to go into an up halt one more time. So halt up, open up higher, halt up, open up lower, and then halt up again. This can't seem to trade now without going into a halt. So good luck. It's done decent volume, but it just feels as if, you know, when things calm down, it's a little bit easier to work into them. Bit of a move here in NVIDIA to the upside. Oh,
that AMD, damn it.
I know.
That's okay.
I thought if it had broke VWAP, we'd get 163 again. Like, that would be something. So I'm going to let it get down to that level. I don't want to be impatient. I just feel like this is the kind of day, if it's not moving and it's not your level, don't go ham, because it doesn't make any sense. If I like it at 63 and go long at 64, I'm liable to make a mess if it starts going down more.
All right, well, I know Frank's coming, but we're long the NASDAQ off those bottoms. So, I mean, this is just, we're pretty chill right here. See the hat I got on here, Frank? Man, our teams suck. All right, nice move up.
A little better.
Are they better though? I mean, our
The White Sox?
expectations. This is the thing I have to talk to Sharif about because he has absolutely no idea about this. It's like he could be like, oh my God, the Cowboys, the Packers didn't win the Super Bowl. The Packers' win total was 6.5 wins. Okay, and we beat the Super Bowl favored from the NFC at the beginning of the year, Dallas Cowboys in the playoffs in their own stadium.
Shouldn't have been favored. But.
And Sharif's just like, oh, you know, isn't it? But it's like, you got to play with your expectations. The Blue Jays every year are supposed to do something and never do. I'm not sure the White Sox expectations were anything this year.
No, everyone thought they'd be
The White
near
Sox?
the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
They're not supposed to be this
So
bad.
congratulations for meeting expectations, really.
Well,
we just keep on disappointing. Shout out to the Raptors, at least they brought home the, you know, wearing the belt still around here in 2019.
Well, you don't even have a pick, the Raptors. Oh, goodness.
Well, our management has maybe lost his way a little bit. We should talk about that.
I
mean, why are we sending a #1 pick for Pirtle when we were basically eliminated, and then we let Fred VanVleet get the heck out of here for nothing? You know, I mean,
exactly.
It's what it is.
And look, we got a championship out of our GM, but it is what it is. He done messed up.
Oh, I mean, I'm just saying that. I think that was a look. Take the championship. I mean,
take the ship.
You know, thank you Kawhi for that, by the way.
Let's get to Mr.
I need some load management.
Mr. Frank Cabrera, who never needs load management.
No, he does, man. He does. He's on vacation. Frank went on vacay on us.
No, that's true. He did go on vacation.
You know, that's what I'm saying. I need some vacation.
He's back now.
He's back now.
Let's go, Frank.
Go, Frank.
Maybe in need of another shortly here coming up. Good to see you. As always, happy, I guess, everything is fine day, apparently, because, hey, CPI, Frank, we've been very patient. We've been sitting here, you know, waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. We've been very patient. They've told us to wait for data. We have finally data showing that inflation is improving.
Yeah, and today it's been actually really, really quiet because yesterday was everybody happy. I remember when I was at the Chicago Board of Trade, the guy sitting next to me, Larry, he would call yesterday an everybody happy day where everybody's just reaching to buy any asset possible, everything on the board green. Everybody happy, I guess, except for my Chicago sports teams. It's a sad state of affairs. I will absolutely. I don't even watch. I don't watch any of it at this point. I've got a bet with some guys in the office because I'm a Sox fan, and it's so public. Everybody is Cubs fans around Chicago, and it's pretty brutal. And I think the spread was like 22.5 games. And I think they're like already close to that being under the Cubs by like 20 games or so. And it's not even close to midway through the season. So it's rough, man. And yeah, our Bulls are awful. Our Hawks are like the worst in the league. Bears, they've got the new young quarterback who's supposed to be good, but even that feels a little wishy-washy. So at least we'll look towards the football season. I think our line is 8 games or 8.5 games for the Bears. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, you're absolutely right. We got the data yesterday, exactly what the market wanted, and you can take your pick of market. We can take a look at the core CPI data, and you'll see lowest since April 2021, which you might remember was really the start of inflation swinging to the upside. And so a couple of things of note here, man. This is more than a year's worth of inflation data on the core side of things that has gone either sideways or lower every single month, now printing really close to 3%, still not very close to 2% on a relative basis, relative to the highs of 2021 and 22 and 23 for inflation. Yeah, we are getting closer to 2%, but we still are, especially at this pace, Brendan, you know, half a year away from printing 2%. So that distance still giving interest rate markets relative pause, and we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, yesterday was absolutely bonkers in terms of, you know, gold up, stocks obviously up, everything except for the meme stocks higher yesterday. Crypto screamed higher yesterday. it seemed like we got the data that we wanted, lower inflation. Powell, as recently as this past week, said that interest rates are not heading higher. And yeah, you've got the headline CPI. Again, though it's in the mid threes, ticked lower as opposed to what would have been the third month in a row of ticking higher, which would have really given all these markets maybe something to trade bearish about. But yeah, you got the data that you wanted here, Brendan. And it was a really interesting trade. I'm sure you guys all watched it because the knee-jerk reaction yesterday at 8:30 Eastern time was everything moved higher, but then it kind of came off those highs, and then the stock session really settled in here in North America, and they really bought it up throughout the day. And so I don't know if that was just a further digestion of the fact that in the same week you have Powell saying rates aren't going higher and inflation is ticking lower again, like people have wanted. And of course, you have the employment data of the last couple of weeks here that's been pointing to a relatively weaker employment market, looking at the non-farms and the jolts of the last 2 weeks. But all these signs for the time being, Brendan, pointing to lower rates, not higher, which is a change of pace because the first 4 months of the year, every data point pointed to interest rates staying at their high levels above 5% or potentially going higher. And so, yeah, I mean, name an asset class yesterday, they all loved it.
Yeah, and I want to dig into that a little bit closer in the sense that you and I sat here last week, I think it was, suggesting the simple fact that yes, inflation, now we get this data, is moving in the right direction, but Powell is clearly focused on core, and Powell is also clearly focused on PCE as a whole, because if you zoom out on this headline chart and see where we are, I mean, we sat here, when this number came out and made the observation immediately, it's 0.1%. Yeah. And we're still very much stuck in this range on the headline side of things. I mean, it's kind of sideways, no?
Absolutely. And I mean, even if you did take a look at the core CPI that did print lower, or especially the headline CPI, you go back the last 6 months and both are relatively sideways. Of course, like I just said, core printed the lowest since April of 2021. But like I also said, the pace of at which this inflation is moving from effectively 4% down to 2%, which is the target, is extremely slow. And that pace for the last 6 months in terms of headline inflation is actually sideways to positive if you're just taking an average rate of change over the last 6 months. And so I think what we've been seeing, the all-time highs that we saw across a number of markets yesterday, is more so, Brendan, the market pricing out what it priced in over the last few months, which is a fear of rates going higher. And you and I talked about this on Tuesday, that it seems like, especially the equity market, but the crypto market seems a little bit more sensitive to the interest rate action. As anyone who's been in crypto the last year has seen, obviously, the rise back to new all-time highs. But especially the last 2 months has been a rough market for crypto. They've been very sensitive to that fear of higher rates setting in over the course of the last couple of months. And so I think what we're seeing here is not necessarily, okay, inflation ticked lower by 0.5%, or inflation hit the 2 handle. And so we're going to definitely get, 2 or 3 or 4 cuts this year. I think what we've seen this week is essentially there was a 5% chance, a 10% chance, whatever you want to call it, X% chance, albeit small but present, of rates moving sideways to potentially positive in the remainder of 2024. and the employment data heading lower, inflation data heading lower this month has really priced that out of the market. But yeah, you make a great point. Inflation isn't heading towards 2% by the end of this year at this pace. And at this rate, it also doesn't look like interest rates are going to be cut by maybe more than 25 or 50 basis points. What was interesting, Brendan, is we saw yields take a hit. They've gotten absolutely hammered here in May. And here we have the yield curve inversion, which is also interesting. But yeah, I wanted to take a look at the 2-year, 10-year, and 30-year yield. And they've all lost more than 25 basis points here in the month of May. And that's a huge decrease, but that's off of those highs, and that's still only effectively priced in 1 or 2 cuts. Obviously, I know the Fed doesn't cut Treasury yields, but the interest rate that they do control is a great benchmark for those different duration of Treasury yields. And so, yeah, it seems like, Brendan, the data that we've gotten the last 2 weeks, employment and inflation, has kind of just gotten us back to the inflection point of 1 or 2 cuts. It's not like the market's pricing in 3 or 4 or where they were at the start of the year. It's just the stock market is so strong that the only thing that was dragging on it a little bit was the potential for higher rates.
And if you look at, you mentioned the yield curve here, and I'm glad you threw that in because it's been a while since we touched on that, rightfully so, though. It's kind of done nothing so far this year, just gone sideways. But we are headed back to the downside again. And you and I made the note that, once we get that flip again back to the right side of things, not inverted, it's typically when you get the follow through or the sell off in the overall market. That never happened, never came. And now here we are trying to go back downside again.
It never came. We haven't seen, the stock turbulence that we usually see paired with a yield curve inversion. But what I would caution to with this graphic of the yield curve inversion is the fact that, it is heading lower in the last couple of weeks. Now, what does that mean? The yield curve is getting more inverted here in the last couple of weeks, when you would think that it would be normalizing. And when were we the most normal with our yield curve? When were we getting close to that 0% bound? And for those who don't know at home, a normal yield curve is when longer term interest rates are higher than shorter term interest rates. And so when you're looking at here, the difference between the 10-year and the 2-year Treasury yield, or the 10-year and the 2-year interest rate benchmark in the US, and that difference is negative, that's an inverted or abnormal yield curve. And we've been inverted for 2 years at this point. But when we got back to close to 0%, I think you and I talked about at the end of last year, start of this year, we got within, I think, 15 basis points or 20 basis points of normalcy for the first time in a year and a half, 2 years. And remember, that was the same time that they were pricing in those cuts. And the idea was, okay, they're going to take short-term rates down to 3 or 4%, and the 5-year, 10-year, and 30-year, to varying degrees, will be higher than that, maybe 4%, 4.5%, 5%, somewhere in that range. And so what I would caution with this recent rally back to the highs is, again, the market hasn't necessarily said, okay, we see what we've needed to see with inflation, the story's over, and they're going to start to cut and normalize short-term rates down to 2 or 3 or 3.5 or 4%, depending on what you think is normal in the long term for overnight interest rates. And the reason that you can really see that is, one, they haven't priced those cuts back in. They've only priced in 1 or 2 at this point still for 2024. And 2, that yield curve is getting more inverted. And so, yes, stocks getting back to all-time highs. Yes, crypto bouncing back, although they're selling into that crypto rally here today a little bit. But still some eeriness, still some funkiness as we still aren't at 2% inflation.
If you then put our forecasting hats on, I was just having a look here. If you go to June, June 11th and 12th, going to be very important days. We get CPI June 11th. The very next day, we get a Fed meeting. So back to back, something to look forward to going into June. We'll obviously get jobs data the week before heading into all three of those. Little bit of a quiet period going into the end of the month here and beginning of June. Not much to look forward to. Is there something you're keeping your eye on?
I'm actually starting to really watch, and I'm sure you guys are on the show taking a look at the recent rally in Chinese stocks. Some interesting data coming out of China tonight. And I bring this up, it has nothing to do with, Forex or interest rates or anything like that. But just a personal thing that I've been watching as a shareholder in FXI now, and it's been a nice trade the last several months. But yeah, you have Chinese retail sales tonight, and you can see this has been a very volatile data point, has ranged as high as double digits, but as low as, especially last month, 2 to 3%. I believe the market is expecting around 3.5% to come out of China tonight. But those out there that are taking a look at either the Chinese stock ETFs or the single names might have something to look at here tonight. But yeah, you're exactly right, Brendan. There will be plenty of stuff going on the remainder of May. There will be, Fed speakers. I think Yellen is supposed to talk either tomorrow or early next week. Obviously, she's not the current Fed chair, but she holds a lot of sway. There will be plenty of stuff going on. But yeah, when we get into that non-farm CPI, FOMC, those first 2 weeks of June are going to be absolutely wild.
We will look forward to that and more to come between now and then. Great stuff as always. Frank Caberna, Director of Strategy over at IG.com in Chicago. Good to see you.
Thanks, Brendan.
I get down to Chicago. I've never been to a game on the South Side, so I know for sure I want to check one out with Frank. And Frank, when you come here, you're a ball fan, I'll take you to a Jays game. But I've always wanted to go to the South Side. Wrigley is amazing. I think it's like a bucket list thing, but I've never gotten to a game out there. And thank you, Frank. And I love that you're looking at what's going on in China because some really good-looking charts over there in terms of a bit of a turn happening in the markets. Kyle Dubb just said in the chat, 180. I don't think necessarily FFIE is going to $1.80. As I said, I want to be trading one of these because when you start doing this billion share volume, once it stopped that Hall Fest, it was an experience of trading that I want to be involved in, right? So we're going to get some reps in. I played Kraken off VWAP and it didn't work. I waited for this to get off VWAP and I'm like, okay, let's find a level. This is the whole price at 136. It holds right in there. Let's go long in front of that, scalp it to the whole level, and then just see what happens. If it gets to 180, it gets to 180. I still think 2 is a bit of a brick wall, but this is a new experience. Like I traded penny stocks back in the day, and they didn't move like this because the rules were a little bit different. So you got to get those reps in, is what it is. FFI is trying to go. I don't know if Kraken's going at this particular moment. Apple, it's kind of going. I got the long. We got it just underneath 190. It held a higher low, so there was no test of 72, and can't seem to get off of VWAP here. And I am back, Robinhood, back into those 20s. I got 22 short. It's at 23.
Well, thanks, Frank, for coming through. While Frank was on, we talked about, I said Nike short I am, and there's a little print on Nike so far. So nice little move to the downside on Nike. NASDAQ's going to the high side again. We told you this was a special day, and it's starting to become that. We're $1 in the money on Walmart. We're at that nice, huge, great move for the TQs here, and Nike's trying to go back down. We already hit Amazon to the short side here this afternoon. Let's not forget Alibaba. That was a good trade this afternoon or earlier today. And yeah, and shout out to Frank. He knows. He's probably been watching the recap show. We've been talking about FXI for a long, long time. Yin and Yang. I mean, shout out to Chris Bretcher, who brought that to my attention as well. K-Web, we know Michael's been talking about that. Mr. Michael Noss coming through. All right, I was thinking into the power hour here. Excuse me. Nike is only 15 cents in the money, but I'm almost thinking about shorting ARM. ARM's making it back into the 200 period right here a little bit. You know, the thing is like that's 115.80. If I can get short right around here, that's a buck. Like it doesn't, the risk to reward doesn't make sense to hold it all the way back here. I don't think anyways, like a dollar hit, I don't, you know, it doesn't really, the low of the day is only 30 cents from here. But it doesn't mean we can't make new lows. So I would much rather get short in and around 50. So that's something I'm looking at right there. ARM short in and around 114.50. But if this NASDAQ keeps going, I mean, we might be able to get, that's 65, 66. Let's just put something up there. I mean, maybe we'll get that. All right, so nice little move upside now. TQs is going, again, right into the, it's crazy that the stock that we're going to be red on is Square, when all we did was buy it 80 cents ago and got stopped out on whatever happened here. Huge move down in and about, not huge move, but about 145. We dropped about 25 cents and that stopped us out there. So I don't know, but there goes Square, still making, looks like it wants to take the high of the day. I was initially playing it off VWAP and then thought that we could hold somewhere in here, and then it didn't, so break higher on Square. We can check PayPal quickly. What's going on with that? 64, I like PayPal, but not too much juice around this. Anything that's kind of stuck right here, it's not super exciting. What I haven't looked at today is Meta. We can go over and have a quick look at Meta.
Yuck.
It was bad, but it's bouncing again. Yeah, 47s, 477 right now for Meta. Again, huge move, right? We actually sold this up here at 480 or 495 or something like that, and we're pretty happy about it, but then did not buy it back down there. That would have been nice. So right here, you're still trying to get back to the 50 period, just like Pan W and whatnot. We've seen stock get hit off earnings, come down to a level, make it all the way back to the 50, and then fail again. So here's Pan W, the last time that happened. And again, just kind of not as loved, if this ever loads up, as, well, now it's going. So not as loved as Meta, I don't think. But there's, see this huge drop in. We came right into some support level, right up to the 50 period. Came right back to that support level again, and look where we're coming right back. We've round tripped now twice. So down there, back to 324, down there again, back to 324, pretty much right now. So Palo Alto still trying to get its footing as well. We did
Still solid.
Yeah, still solid. No, it's still fine. That's Pan W. All right, Nike's still not doing anything. TQs, we did not get that 60 level, so hopefully it comes back and we'll get it. Right now, it looks like the market wants to get to the downside, so that's going to be something. That ARM, maybe we just should have shorted it right there. It's still here, although it was 20 cents higher. Now we're starting to go down on ARM a little bit, now even lower. So a little bit of a missed opportunity there. People like the VinFast break of $4. We can look at that.
Yeah, we'll have a look. I just got out of FFIE because it kind of wicked that top 175 in there, so I'm going to trail out of it and look for another consolidation off VWAP and then just go for it again. SPWR also moving, but VFS, 441 is an oddly specific break. I mean, whatever, the high of the day is the high of the day. Or never mind, it's not a high of the day break. Or you're just looking at a consolidation break for VinFast. So you get the bottom down here. Yeah, support into resistance. I don't know what's going to get the volume up for this breakout, though, for VFS. Certainly, when you look at the chart on a 15, like I kind of like the consolidation it's putting in a general sense. Like in my mind, like a breakout if it breaks $5, but the 441, I just can't see it. It's not doing enough volume for me to wonder why to take this break. It looks like it's good technically, but without volume, probably going to stay away from it. Good luck. I mean, this threw $5 at some point. If you can get kind of a catalyst in there, that could really go. It's already made one move. Once it breaks that $5 level, I think it could be very, very spicy. But don't see enough volume for it right now for this break.
All right, we'll go over AMC and GME quickly here because I don't have any trades on this one since the morning, but we actually did really well on it this morning. Able to take a lot of profit on the upside and then hold that last little bit, that last quarter or whatever it was, reloaded it at 32, then get stopped out at 32, and now the bottom's been 29. But the thing is, even if we zoom in, You know what? I mean, you can just trade this without too much hesitation anymore because it's not really whipping around that much. I don't even think we've had a halt today. Did we?
No.
I don't see any breaks in the volume here on the downside. So, yeah, pretty calm down day here for GME. 31, 31.50. I mean, looking for a break long, all I can think you should be able to do right now is just average into the long up here near 29, down here near 29 because we've held it all day. So that would be something there. And then AMC, we went long GME and short AMC. This was on that bear cave report. We did get stopped out of the last 10% as we didn't even break 5, but we got out for flat on that one, which was 497, 498. But again, pretty good outs down here at 470. So we had that level. And then we also marked down on our sticky note that we really liked 460. And the reason why was, it had to have been something to do with yesterday. Yeah, where we came in, yeah, that's yesterday. So this is a 20-minute chart. So these little bottoms here, 460, 470. So that's what we looked at for AMC. But again, I wish I could trade this a little more for you, but I can't. For me, there's nothing here. You could trade the same way you're trading Faraday and stuff and just try to take pennies, but at the same time.
The difference is Faraday is doing so much volume that it's different, it's new, like it's actually moving.
Even go bid-ask.
Like it just went, like Faraday just went like 15, 20% on a move and it's done 1 billion shares worth of volume. That SPWR, by the way, good look in the chat, LM. I don't know if it's the next big one, but like these are all like sleeping giants, these squeeze names that pulled all the way back. And when a stock is coiling like this, you do want to see it potentially break out. Now, I don't know if it's what's going to get this off the schneid. AMC, GameStop, all these other squeeze names aren't going anymore, but you've now made 2 days in a row essentially holding the $3 level, and it's only at 325. Like if it just breaks any of these highs, great. Like I think it could go again as well. It's just a matter of maybe it waits till next week. We talked about this morning and even yesterday. The way that these squeeze plays happen, it's like it runs. Everyone has a ton of fun. It unwinds for a couple of days. Everyone forgets about it once it slows down, like the day that you don't trade it. And then out of nowhere, they start flying again. And so you just want to be ready if and when they do. Right now, not a heck of a lot to see. NVIDIA does, okay, a second ago, NVIDIA looked like it was going to carry, wow, yeah, literally 2 seconds ago, this was going to carry VWAP and holding the 950. And then all of a sudden, you've just broken back down under. Looks like we're headed down here. Maybe that Marvell curl is about to come. All right, so, waiting for NVIDIA under VWAP. I want Marvell.
All right, we just got just a quick little trade here. We are now short a brand new position. We're short Micron right now. So let's see what happens again. Micron looks like it wants to break. We're looking for weaker names. I just said I'm trying to go short. So we'll hit this one, breaking the low of the day right now. Micron, low of the day, maybe it's not, but it's a good little low here for MU. So we'll see if we can break it. Well, we're in it twice. I'm using this up to 128. Ooh, that's 12s. Okay, I got to change that. I put 128.10, but anyways. All right, we are now short on Micron.
Be aware of Amgen here if you're involved in any of these biotech-related names. AMGN, it's treatment for small cell lung cancer, just getting U.S. approval, so not reacting too much. We got a little bit of a volume pop, but just keep an eye on AMGN, guys.
Okay, keeping an eye on it, keeping an eye. We just got a banger right there, not a banger, just an oh my God.
Oh my God.
Nike's not really moving. We'll take another dime on that, so just back-to-back dimes. But it's the same trade, so it's really just one trade there. And then just a quick update. I'm gonna cancel my hero trade up here for the TQs, just in case it goes. I switched that 60 to 50. So there it is right there, another out for us. We are now very, very light on that TQ position. Nice move down into 64 again for Micron. GameStop is trying to move a little bit lower right now, but not doing a whole heck of a lot. Trying to break through 29 actually right now, GME. So here it is. There it goes. So trying. Again, it's only down 26%, but looks like it wants to break right now. So $29, I don't know. I said this was a level to get long, so if you just sat there, maybe you got some, but we'll see. Here it's coming back in. We are short Micron again at 75s. It just touched 64. We'll put something at 60 if it gets into there, great. If not, fine as well. We're looking to get a lot more. So if we can get anything near O's there, we're all about that because our stop out is this high in and around 128.10 or so. So if we can get some more, we'll take it. But for right now, we're going to go short on Micron. see if that can work out. Nike, we get that fill right back up again, so pretty good. Maybe we're going to be wrong on the market, and that's fine if we are. We're favoring short. We've got Walmart long. That's $1 in the money. That's only the last 10%. We have our stop ready to go on Walmart. When that comes out, that will come out. But for right now, the market's trying to figure it out. I'd rather just be short under VWAP. We tested it and tanked. Maybe we get another test and a tank again. But for right now, we're short heading into the close. So you pick your poison. I kind of picked mine.
Yeah, I mean, the second I saw NVIDIA go, I was like, okay, well, maybe Marvell, after that lower high, is going to put one in. So I got short on the break of 74 even. 96s, it went that first time, got on the bid, and then it's right back up. Like, when you see the market doing this, and when I say this, I mean, like, you have a pretty tight range. Like, the big moves have happened already, and now you're just in these, like, small 10 handles at a time ranges, and then a lot of stocks are doing the barcode. You just want to switch gears. Like, make sure you're, I think if you're in here risking like 10, 15 cents, you're scalping some out when it goes 10, 20, and even like the 30-cent level, because that's what you're seeing. Not gigantic moves at this point, so just take what you can get. I looked over, and we pointed out that that fail of VWAP was happening over on NVIDIA at 850. I'm like, oh, Marvell 74, I know I like that. Is it available? And it was. So I was able to sort of follow the move down by jumping into it. Into Robinhood, but like, look at Robinhood. It kind of stopped out there, but didn't break that local high where I was originally short. So I jumped back in the short. It once again didn't break that local high. So I'm just holding the short into these bottoms in Robinhood. Trend down, doesn't feel like it wants to do much of anything here. So if we don't do much, then it can glide down and do what it was doing before. That's the litmus. And Apple, like this entire time, Apple is just going sideways. So my reaction to this is, if it's going to move like that, well, just tighten the stop. Like, there's no need. If I liked it here to the bottom, thinking we get a press up into VWAP, well, when the market was doing anything, Apple just went sideways. So my reaction is, don't add to it. Could and get a better price, but just give it a tighter stop, because it's not moving as much as I would like. And if that's the case, there's no need to sit around fighting it. Okay, so next leg down, just want to make sure we're ringing the register on Marvell on the way back in. If it gets to VWAP, strong stock, expect to bounce at that point, and then hopefully we can get a little something in these futures doing one kind of a move or another. At the end of the day, in Power Hour, you just want movement. There you go, Brad. Tesla's making a bit of a move back in through 75, a bunch of green candles in a row. Still has to take out 76, obviously. This is what's looming for Tesla. Not just today, that high 175.70. You got yesterday's quadunk or destruction, lower high 175.60. So it's got a bit to chew through, and if it can chew through that, I'm with you. I think that can be a long. I just want to see it happen first. GameStop. I know it's heading lower. It's just like, do something. If you're trading GameStop, it's not the kind of name that you're taking 5-10 cents on. Not really trading that way. You know, if you're taking 5-10 cents on this, then why not be over? Why not be on an FFIE, where if you find an entry, at least in that case, you're risking 5 cents, and it just went like 20 or 30. In GameStop, if you're risking 5-10 cents, I mean, you're just going to get every single move in there is the same thing, and then it's not giving you any more explosion. And I know, like, I tried a breakout long on the stock when it looked like it was going to go, and I wanted to get in before VWAP. Just absolutely nothing burger at all here. So Marvell's coming down. NVIDIA is holding underneath 950, which I think is, you know, definitely going to be a helper for that Marvell trade. But we're just looking for VWAP here. It's at 73.20. We grabbed it underneath 74. It's 10, 15 cents worth of risk. And, you know, if we get 50, 60 cents out of it, the market's not doing much. So you take what you can get. Just wait for your trade, see it happen, then hit it.
I feel like that's basically talking about the book here right now with Micron. I mean, we found this trade. We just put it on, and here we go. Short 127.80. We're at 127.50. That's 30 cents clean. It's doing one of these. So today we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 wins, 1 loss. today for our stocks. But we still have to wait to see what happens here with Nike still to go as well. So far so good here on a ratio like that. We'll take it, but we still want a little bit more. So let's see if we can get a little bit less, less positions right now and just capture the profit. So we put some more out there on Micron. I mean, we just put this trade on. As you can see, that was 10 minutes ago or less. And nice move down from Micron, and the futures really didn't do anything. So we've been doing that, so that's been a good one. And then Nike maybe is where we have to get. We make our calls. Remember right when I just dumped off the coffee cups, got rid of that one that Randy got me, didn't have that at all, finished the iced coffee. And then I was just like, you know what? Let's see how this plays. So there's Nike down to the downside. And I was like, hey, look, I made my bed here going short. So, what's yours? And you just got to find a feeling. We talk about being confident in your positions and just being like, this is what I'm doing, I'm going short. And then we were nervous because I was looking short on some names that we were trying to get out of the queues. And I feel like that's been a good decision. It's not really doing anything. I don't want to focus too much on that. The next shoe to drop is Nike. So this one, the next stock to go down is Nike right there, as we'll see where this one goes. 91.85. I mean, it's starting to break lower again. We look for the 50-period moving average. We looked for a stock. Retail has not been good. I mean, have you guys seen Lululemon lately? I'm not in this stock, and I feel like it might be time to get in. Walmart right now, you want to talk about different retailers right here. Lululemon, and I know they do have retail stores, but look at this name off earnings. I mean, remember if you gave this one some love here at like 390, 400 or so? I mean, you are even pushing lower right now into like, I mean, it's gonna be dip by opportunity time. I mean, even right now, I still like Lululemon down 2%, but just to go and show you sort of the difference here, I mean, look what Walmart's doing today. Again, our daily chart is messed up, but still, nice move. We played the dip VWAP long, and we're right here right now. We just wicked super hot fire long on that one. Let's get out now. I'm just going to offer it. Honestly, if we get picked up at 27, how come we didn't get 27 there? All right, went in and out there. I don't know. I thought that just flashed. Okay, we'll see if we get 27s. Oh, it didn't. Oh, it went at 28. Okay. Here comes Walmart pulling back in. I don't like that big wick candle there. So that's some big wick power, and I don't like that. So we're going to get out a little bit on that, and we now close the trade. And you can go to Walmart and get some chicken dinner winner if you want. But that was a good one. Because
they got everything.
Yeah, Walmart's got everything for sure. There it is right there, 63. Even the weird people of Walmart. You ever seen those Instagram things? There it is, 63 to 20, 63.20 all the way up. So basically the high of the day there on Walmart. We will end that trade. It is sticky note trade idea number 2. AMD, Walmart, Tesla, AMC, Intel, GameStop. And that's that. So, so far, good. What's up, T-Money?
What up, T-Money? Let's go. I mean, at the end of the day, like,
glad someone got the big wick power.
These
there.
shorts at least are something. Because the market's not doing a heck of a lot. So the only two I put on were Robinhood and Marvell. They're both starting to work back into that. We showed you Marvell already, but then Robinhood's starting to roll back over. However, I can't tell you that I punched into Marvell 74. The reason for it, at that moment, I wanted something to happen. And it was NVIDIA failing underneath 950. Well, NVIDIA's about to break back out. It's back above 950. Suddenly, it looks strong when the market's, again, not doing anything. So I go over to Marvell, and I'm trying to get out in front of VWAP. If it were to sort of reclaim this 75.6 level or 73.6 level, then I'm just going to jump out of it because NVIDIA was part of the reason, and now NVIDIA looks a little bit bullish. So if it gets back up there, I'm just going to jump out of that trade. Just kind of take what we can get. But NVIDIA is starting to run a little bit here. It makes me want to check out where AMD is. Because AMD is literally
like
doing
up or down?
No, NVIDIA is going up.
Oh, and
AMD's doing.
Yeah, remember I was frustrated with AMD.
Like, what is going on? Look, this morning AMD was by far, maybe not by far, but it was definitely the strongest chip name that I was paying attention to. And all of a sudden, this thing can't get a bid even when everything else is going. I'd say that's a little bit frustrating on AMD. If it can climb above VWAP, maybe there's something to it, and maybe finally this Apple's starting to go. I'm just going to start getting this out in front of VWAP. The Apple's not really moving. So it goes like 5-6 cents in the money. It goes 5-6 cents out of the money. It's not really doing a heck of a lot. And as I said, I'm going to jump out of Marvell because of what I saw in NVIDIA. If it's not going to get to VWAP, fair enough. Like I'll take 40 pennies on it when we're risking 10 to 15, depending on slippage on that stock. FFIE is going again. So this FFIE at $2, and when it got in this halt range, that's when things got absolutely out of hand. So if it does come up to that $2 level again, I'd be looking for a failure at that price. This was a 5-cent stock a couple of days ago. Actually, I think it was lower than that, to be honest with you. It's hard to see in here. Yeah, it might have been under 5 cents, 4-cent stock or whatever the heck it was, and it's about to go into a halt down. So as I said, if it gets to $2, I was going to look for a fade. It got to $1.80, and then it went for a fade. So just be careful with this one. It could be at $1, it could be at 80 cents by the end of today.
Yeah, it could literally be anywhere. It's only 324 right now. We're really just chilling out. It was a good couple covers there on Micron, obviously, as it's come all the way back up, and we just got a very, very small reload right there. So again, we just took that short. That's why my average price changed. We just took another short at 75 there on Micron. So if it does fall back in, great. But some of the momentum might have sort of not ended, but you know, like Neil just mentioned there, into the close here. We're just gonna have to wait to see if something goes. We said the anointed one was going to be Nike for the short. So yeah. I mean, just look at the trades that we have on. We have Nike on here for you so far, right? So there's, you know, normally we don't put on too many trades, but there it is right there. That's a banger, right? We just reloaded Micron and then just took another dime on that. So, you know, shout out to that trade right there. The other trade that we put on while we were on this show was right here, starting it at 220 and then even added more to it at 230. That's been a banger. And then we've left, well, we covered our Amazon, which we probably should not have, although it's right at the same price. Maybe we'll get back into that. And then AMD, we just left alone. I mean, we were in this at 2 o'clock, and then it came in, we took some profit for everybody, and then for myself, and then it faded out and then fell. So we're still waiting for that to break. But I'm just in the same stocks. So 18 cents here. If there's anything you guys want me to look at, let's do that because
CGC is not even moving.
Yeah, GameStop bounced off 29 clean. We talked about buying 29. It went down to 29.02. So you could have had that one. Now that's 50 cents. AMC, we don't have a trade on that one. What else? CGC? Sure, I'll look at that quickly. All right, so CGC. Okay, so the problem when you're looking at lines and everything is that trend lines are great when the stock is trending, and obviously this isn't long right now, up 13%, so we probably want to trade it that way. However, when you're making moves on news that we've already heard before, seems like numerous times, I'm not sure what eventually gets approved one way or the other here for CGC and for the marijuana business or cannabis industry. So I don't love these names long term, but if you're just trading them now, like a GameStop, like an AMC, then I think there's some value in that. So I would be a dip buyer into 11 and then break it if VWAP breaks. I can't really go by anything else right now other than VWAP or past support and resistance. So maybe 10, 10, 20, something like that. Why does my screen keep
And that's what you
flickering?
do.
I have no idea.
You pick a key price and you let it get to
lower.
there.
Yeah.
I was just at Havana Woody. I don't mind pulling up the Doge chart. It's just not really doing a heck of a lot right now. And I should mention, like you hear real trading, like we can go, I don't think we can go, I know we can't go short Bitcoin at least, when we have the spot. I'm pretty sure we can't short this as well. That's why you'd see us trade IBIT specifically, or the ETS. But Doge isn't really doing much. It's trend down like all of the other ones at this particular point. Coinbase, is Coinbase breaking down? Nope. I saw Andy put in the chat, it's like Coinbase. I'm like, well, yeah, Coinbase 200, but we're at 201 and it's 330. It's probably getting too far away to get this break at $200. Maybe it's a tomorrow type of trade. Coinbase been under some pressure. Obviously down 8.5% isn't a good thing. So you know the trend is to the downside. I know it's good on the daily chart in some ways, but back under the 50. And it was trying to hold this trend, and then after it broke that trend, I find it's respected that. So I think shorting the pops is the way I've been looking to go. And now it wants to flat bottom break. I just feel there's so much room to the downside. If this stays weak relative to spot prices of Bitcoin then I just want to be looking for shorts on Coinbase until proven otherwise. That's the way I want to go. Robinhood we found our way into because it gave at least a decent level. So we're still in it. Got bids down to the low, which is at 1805, and then we'll see if we can hang on to those. 4L I'm not the Doge master. I think when Coinbase IPO'd, I remember I'm going to download the app. It's not that I was going to move a bunch of crypto into it. It's just like, yeah, I want to get a feel for it. Like, how does it work? You know, all that kind of good stuff. And at one point, I know I got a little bit of Doge and then just didn't care and just sort of left it in there. I am definitely no Doge master at all. I'm like almost all of the crypto I own is either Bitcoin or Ethereum. It's an overwhelming majority, like 97.8% or something.
And you're probably long like at 50 cents on Dogecoin anyways. Like there was all
There's no way I'm up
hype about
There's no way I'm up about it because I remember I was trying it out. There was, I know what it was. People were complaining that they couldn't use it one day.
Right.
And I was like, and I went in to check to see if it was up. I wonder if I could put it, and I put in like a small amount, and I just left it. So I don't even care either. That's all.
All right. Micron right now. Oh, by the way, so we got some more fills on Micron. That's a reloaded position. FSRN. Shout out to my Fisker peoples now. Long at 13 cents don't look so bad now, does it, Fisker Nation? No, it still looks pretty bad. It's up to 8 cents right now. So we bought some, remember we put in that $300 basically live on the show into Fisker at 13 cents. And it is a nightmare of a stock because it went all the way down to 2 cents. And we were just literally lighting our you-know-what on fire right now. Uh-oh. What?
Isn't that old news?
We just heard that Citron Research is short GameStop.
So that was AMC. They said AMC before, and now they're also short GameStop. Okay.
Yeah, okay. So maybe it was just AMC early, maybe now it's GameStop now. But either way, I mean, I'm not really seeing. Oops,
moving.
why does GME say NM? All right, there it is, GME.NY. We could try it on something like that. I don't know. I mean, I don't. Honestly, Citron, like, honestly, whatever.
There's not even a volume spike.
We're 17 cents in the money on Nike right now. I don't really want to go short it. The TQs have come back. We've already talked about that. We have like less than 5% of this position. I might just let's just get out of this. We have no reason to be in it. So there it is. We'll punch it out. That's a money-making symbol right now. We're 11-1 today on our symbols. The only one that we lost on is a monster. So there we go. This is the stock that we're red on today, Square. Okay. That's that. Tesla was a good trade. We did not reload this at that level, although it did come back in there. That's $1.10 right there from top into VWAP. So we like that. Now we only have a couple left, man, with only a half hour left. Join me tonight for the market recap show where, although I'm sure we'll get it out at some point, we do. I know, Ramin. It's all good. I mean, look, we're in a mood. It's fine. I mean, we're just chilling out today with Danielle Shea.
Yes.
We're coming through with her today. We'll talk all about everything. So how about that? Maybe we'll do a little Q&A sesh with Danielle. We'll figure out, like, she's got this merch, trying to figure out, like, some. We'll figure out if she's eventually got that female. Oh, she's got 2 turkeys now running around her backyard. Like, you know, lots of stuff happening in Miss Danielle Shea's world. But right now it's Adair's world, and we're all living in it.
Context here on the Citron research story with GME. So it's actually not Citron that is short. It's actually one of the authors and editors for Citron. It's going to be Andrew Left, who has shorted the stock in the past. Also worth noting, so Bear Cave was the one earlier today releasing the short report on GME, or sorry, on AMC. GME, no short report, just one of the authors and editors happening to go short the stock, guys.
I mean, that's why, yeah, that's why we shorted AMC, was on the Bear Cave report, so. Yeah. And it worked. We're up on AMC short today and GME long, so go figure. We trade price movements, support and resistance. I haven't traded 12 names in a minute, but we did do it today, so we're gone now. All we're doing is holding the shorts. Nike trying to bleed lower. I may put another bid here at 80s, but yeah, so far so good here for Nike. We can put a bid at 80. Let's see if we get filled. Nice little downside move here on NKE. Other than that, Tesla, Walmart. Actually, let's just check back in on Walmart quickly to see where that one winds up. Good trade for us there on Walmart. We got out there long 63, and we talked about it on our sticky note today, which is right here. You can go find it at Trader TV, Sean. 45 or 46,000 followers. Today, AMD long 160, we had it. That's $6 in the money or something. Walmart dips into VWAP, we explained. Look at the chart. Here's a dip into VWAP. Let's go over to Adara.
Let's take a look at some of these S&P 500 names making bigger moves that maybe we haven't discussed yet. And there are some interesting ones on this list for sure, including Boeing here, up about 3%. No specific Boeing story that would explain this move up, but there are some reports that United Airlines is now able to add new planes and routes after the FAA eased its operational freeze. So this could be a nice move for Boeing if they're going to add some new planes there. Good look for BA. We also have DHI, DR Horton, and some of these other building and household related names trading to the downside following this April housing starts number, which is a little bit worse than the market was expecting. And last but not least, one earnings play on the list is going to be John Deere, down more than 4%. Earnings were actually good. They beat on EPS and revenue expectations, but they did lower their outlook to about $7 billion compared to the previous of $7.5 to $7.75 billion. So not a great look for DE. Interesting look for a lot of these names, guys.
Yeah, rough day for DE there. I mean, I like the way the Caterpillar held up, but we talked about that this morning. I want to shout out and thank you, Justin. Appreciate the super chat there. We love you. I love all the viewers, and we appreciate it. We'll hit the like on that. Can we go over Rivian? You're long, some calls apparently, and look, Rivian's, it's kind of flat-ish today. That said, they've survived the report, which didn't necessarily say anything good, but what is there good to say at the end of the day for Rivian? But on the daily chart, it's really hugging this 50 period, like up, down, over and over. However, you've got higher lows. So I like it. Look, I have this as a shot play for me. I'm not in the money on it, but I have this as like a shot play on my TFSA account, and I've been looking for a spot or any kind of an inkling of a reason to add, and I don't see a catalyst in sight for it. However, higher lows and then closing again above the 50 period. It's been doing the break the 50, fail underneath, break the 50, hold a day, fail underneath. If it can break it and actually hold like the end of a week above this $10 level, I do like the nice little upward trend it's doing. The fact that you're getting, I guess, better chance of a couple of hikes, that percentage is going up, does somewhat bode well for some of these EV names, but they are under a tremendous amount of pressure. I just want to see a consolidation above the 50 period would be a little bit better than just going back and forth. If it can actually consolidate above, hold a week above $10, that could be one reason to get in. I'm just personally looking for like some kind of good news or just something of a catalyst more than a technical. That's just for myself. But I like what's happening here at the 10 level. I reloaded Marvell because NVIDIA got back underneath 950. So we got out at 750 or 73.60, and then back in at 73.57 as NVIDIA looked weak again. So we'll go short back into VWAP on this particular name. Strong name, but when NVIDIA roll over, like it's starting to put in some lower highs. If it gets to VWAP, we are getting out of that one. Just to go back over to Apple, I said it's not moving. I'm tightening the stop. So I was in here at 96. I was going to give it to 70s, but then it wasn't moving, so I moved my stop to 86. Like if the stock's not going, it's not worth giving it a wider stop. Why? Because it's not moving at that point, so we'll just get out of Apple. Heading in down into the bottom, it looks like it is going to be a bit bearish heading into the close. The NASDAQ red, the ES also just turned red, 0.1 for the ES.
All right. So Micron just made a move up, so we're now short at 90s here on Micron. Let's see what that does right now. Well, we've taken some outs, we've taken some other fills. Short now, well, 89, sorry, short at 89 on Micron on an average in price. We're going to get stopped out if it breaks 10 to the upside. Almost, the level doesn't even almost matter. I mean, momentum into the close. If it goes higher here, we're probably short the wrong sector. We've sort of talked about that with how strong some of the chip names have been. But we just reloaded this at 90, what were these prices? 97, 98, so back down into 89. So this seems to be wanting to work again for us on this move down. We did take another piece out on Nike. And I guess we saved ourselves some because we got out of the queues. And remember, we sort of sniffed that one out. I mean, we said that, hey, these cues are definitely getting exhausted up here. We were really happy with some of these prints. Got a whole bunch out here up top, and now look where we are. We do not, I better make sure I don't have any more bids down there. No, I do not. And I really like the style that I'm trading now, is like not waiting to get stopped out, even of the last piece, right? Like, the thing is that sure, we had $1.40 or whatever winner on Walmart, but look, the fact that we got out and then, yeah, my stop is canceled, that we didn't get triggered on a stop means we saved ourselves about 20 cents. So it is mattering at the end of the day. Here comes Micron back in. We just talked about where we shorted it. We shorted it at 98s right there on Mike. Look at this move on Micron. Come on, Sean. Stop. All right, there's another move. There's another move. Nah, I mean, it's somewhat confident, but I mean, it's like these moves are coming in. All we're doing is talking our book to you and giving you hopefully the trades that, I don't know. This is just the day we're having. We already told you about this. So we already took $3 on BABA, but we could discuss that in a minute. We just reloaded Micron. So there it is. It's a downside move. We got out of our longs. We're in shorts, man. We're reloaded. We're really feeling it today. Man, maybe we wear this hat a little bit more often, but so far so good, man. 11-1 today, and reloading on these positions. Like, I guess there is a little bit of confidence there. You have to have confidence to be a successful trader. Today's a pretty good day, man. We've been up and down, but at the end of the day, we're still here. So this is what it is, man. Thank you so much. Now, I'm not a glitch in the matrix. I'm just in the matrix.
The matrix is a bad thing. You don't want that, but there's a reason I flipped it.
Oh, I want all the bad things. Because that's how I get better. You know, I learn from the depths. That's what I told you. That's what made me so strong, being from the streets and now being where I am now. You know? So, it is what it is. I mean, you have to explain. It has to be explained. It has to be explained.
It's all good. It's all good, man. Like I said, I'm only going short. I've reloaded Hood. I've reloaded Marvell. It just felt like that was the way to go. Find something that's working, and it's lower highs all the way through. I've canceled any bids in CGC. I don't want to touch that one anymore, not with the market starting to roll over. Hood's at low of the day, and I'm going to hold it through that break. I'm going to get out of Marvell at VWAP. That was the plan the entire way. Marvell looking strong. We had it. It put in a lower high. We got out. We jumped back in, and we'll take it into VWAP, whatever, man. It's the same nonsense. You guys know exactly what we're talking about. So again, it felt a little bit weak. We tightened up a stop on Apple. NVIDIA's back in through 950. It's been trend down, and we'll see what happens. I mean, the early look imbalances, by the way, they're mostly to the sell side, but I will warn everybody that Kenview, there's still some residual stuff going on with the J&J Kenview, and there's some index action for it. So you're going to see a big, gigantic number on Kenview that probably means absolutely nothing, but no big names, XOM, SU. Ford's an early look imbalance to the buy side for anyone that cares. And then you see Enbridge and Coke. Those don't really matter. I think overall, it's more about the market pullback. I'm holding on to Hood through that low of the day, but I think there's a reason we're looking for shorts. That's what you like, stocks that are trending back in. I'm not much for a head and shoulders guy, but there's your shoulder, there's your head, there's your shoulder, and then a couple legs down into VWAP. Try to keep it simple. I said every single time it's at a level and NVIDIA pops 950, I'd go short. What happened? NVIDIA popped 950 again, and it was cresting at that level, so I went into the short off of this wick high. Again, it's just about what is your reason for getting in, where's your entry, where's your exit, and all that good stuff. And I said I'd get out of VWAP as well. So Marvell, super strong stock, doesn't report till the end of the month. I think that's going to be one of my favorites for trading on earnings because it usually does like a double-digit move. Not sure why the daily chart's not cooperating, but it did get to big-time resistance on that daily. I guess you can see it here. That's why I kind of like that short. It failed up at that top on the daily and then put in a lower high. So I like that pullback. Usually you don't want to short a strong stock, but this is something that showed you that top on the daily, then showed you that lower highs. Just have to have that reason to get in.
Yeah, I'm just going to give a big shout out here because Obi filled in for Neil the other day. The number 2 P&L on the floor is Obi. So let's go awesome to Obi today. Bang, 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 bang. It's Obi is in the building. Congratulations, my guy, Obi. Yeah, he's also in the Matrix, by the way. And we choose red pill or blue pill. I don't know which one, but I picked red, so I have to rewatch that movie. Which one should I be picking, Ramin? Red or blue? I don't know. I just pick. Oh, I'm wearing blue hat. Okay,
It's like a political thing.
there it is. Oh, it's a political thing? Oh.
Because, you know, like red, blue.
Yeah, red, blue. Okay. Well, I didn't choose it for that, but here we go. Nice move to the downside here for Micron. Still going. Big shout out to Obi right there again. And if you want to be part of a trading floor and you know, join the fun that we're having right here, right now, Obi, Neil, all here every day, most days. As we go, oh, we got a nice little
Life.
We have Thug Life. Yeah, Thug Life is here too. I'm not going anywhere, so shout out to that. Remember I told you when I went to the Travis Scott concert, everyone thought I was DEA? Shout out right here. Yo, there it is, Thug Life. There it is. Some internet guy is here. You know, I'm just a guy from Brampton. So shout out to you, No Direction. Thank you so much for the $100 super chat right there. Again, that means a lot. You know, the biggest super chat we've had in a minute. So thank you so much for that. I hope you're really making a little bit of money as well. No Direction, well, I mean, today we've had quite a good direction, and we're really feeling it today. So I really want to thank everybody right now for being here. And that's really what it's all about. Share the love. You know, we already had this sort of talk with Sharif. He's talking about good karma and all that stuff, right? So like, we're going to celebrate other traders around here. So that's exactly what we're doing. And I want to give a big shout out to Obi and all the guys behind us, because there's a lot of more traders coming up the wings right now. So again, want to be part of Real Trading, visit realtrading.com ASAP.
That's what it's all about. Oh, we actually got anyways, I voted for the blue pill. But we actually got the answer. Everyone asked Randy what the car was, and we forgot to mention it this morning. So Randy did put it in. I just noticed it now. Randy, it was the Porsche 911.2 GT2R RS. 911 GT2 RS. That's the one. Randy comes through, and like the guy, he knows his stuff. And we're not making up when he actually said he had some positive things to say about FFIE. Now, obviously, that stock is just squeezing now. But at the end of the day,
I'm not going to give Randy credit about FFIE.
It was a while ago.
We were talking about at 17 cents. It went down to 2 cents. And right now, it's all the way the upside.
No, it was well before that. It went 17. I remember this well. It went 17 and a half. It doubled up and then went back down. So when he mentioned it, there was something that happened, and then it doubled up. And then after the catalyst, it then went back and made a low. So like, it was something that was happening with the stock. And then that's the thing about penny stocks. If you don't take when a penny stock is bad because it's a penny stock, when it gets a catalyst and then gives you your move, you usually want to take it. Because what'll end up happening is, well, then after the catalyst is done, it just goes back into whatever the trend was before. Oftentimes that's to the downside. I say that from personal experience because I've been there. Like, one of the first things I ever non-market, non-mutual fund, individual stock that I was in was literally a penny stock. And it had the catalyst, it doubled up. I was like, this is going to be fantastic. I was in my early 20s. And just like that double up was gone. And I learned my lesson. I think I got out for like a 10% loss, but I was like, that was just pretty ridiculous, and never again. If what you want to have happen happens, take profit on it. There's no point making a good decision if you don't at least try to realize it. So I learned that lesson on penny stocks a long, long time ago.
Yeah, exactly. What's up, Pepper Potts, becoming a member? And again, I want to shout out one more time, No Direction. And I see some of the talk that you have in here that we've taught you a lot. So thank you so much. I forgot to hit the like button for that one. There's a $100 super chat. I mean, again, you know, that's a lot. So thank you so much for that. We really, really appreciate that, truly. So again, thank you for that super chat. And what's up to Pepper Potts, who's back here right now as a member. So yeah, look. We're still short Micron. Not only are we short it, we reloaded it with that confidence, and now it's just a matter of waiting for the end of the day. It's 3:47. We're really, really just straight chill right now, as I feel like you should be when you're trading. So, all right, Walmart, let's just see what's going on with some of these. So my number one P&L name after everything is settled is Walmart. So right there, we'll fire off the hot dog cannon for Walmart. My number one P&L name here today off the early trade. The number one P&L name was a stock that we had right at 931. So damage done there, and part of it was because we were able to hold, not part of it, the main reason was because we were able to hold. P&L number 2 for us today is Apple, buying 190s. That worked until the last 10% did not. All right, P&L number 3 today. I feel like I'm gonna be missing something here, so we'll just stop at Alibaba. It keeps going AMC, GME, they're all here, but Alibaba, I mean, wow. This is a banger in all the accounts, but especially today when we buy 83, 83.50 and get out at 86.50. That's $3 clean there for Alibaba. So the only thing that I'm in right now, you can see someone asking in the chat, oh, what's up, Comp SRX1? Just Micron. I'm not even taking any more Micron. We're pretty much out of Micron right now. I have about 15% left of Micron and about 15% left of Nike. So we're just chilling out. There's only 1 minute until imbalances. If Micron runs the top, it will run the top. And we'll lose a cup of coffee on the last couple shares. But honestly, we're pretty good where we are right now. GME and GameStop and AMC. AMC is actually going to the downside, so I like that right there for anybody looking to get long in around 450, 460. And then GameStop has not done anything, battling off 29. We've talked about 29 a couple times, and there it is with the imbalances in 30 seconds. So
imbalances, but also Bostic is apparently talking in like 30 seconds. Fed Bostic is speaking at 3. It's kind of random at that time, but you are right about that. There was a couple of questions. Is that Kenvue 4 million share early look imbalance, is that large? On a normal day, yes, but I can tell you when I looked at the index action that's supposed to happen for Kenvue, like I see a share decrease of net shares to trade 30 million. So on a day where there's an index action, no, it's not that big because it's expected. It doesn't mean it's not going to go up or down. It could absolutely do it. But Kenvue just came out 5 million to sell. The expected was 30. Apple 2.2 million to buy. Intel 2 million to the buy side as well. Ford to buy. Who cares? Alphabet 1.1 million to buy. This is going to be a big buy imbalance because these are all big. Cisco's 900,000 buy. They reported and got smoked. I think there's AMD, 700,000 to the buy side. Don't see NVIDIA just yet. Palantir is a small sell. Tesla's to the buy side for 580,000. So it looks like mostly buys, led by Apple. No, there's Microsoft for 1.1 million as well. So Apple 2.2 million to the buy side is the biggest. I just moved the trail on the hood to 1810. It just bounced off 18 even. Looks like it doesn't want to break the even dollar on Robinhood. We've been in this one a couple of times. Let's go to Adara.
Watch out for some of these uranium names, including CCJ here, Cameco Corp. The U.S., according to this notice, is going to offer up to $3.4 billion for domestic uranium enrichment, and the funding will, according to this notice, be available as soon as June. So keep an eye out for CCJ and some of these other uranium-related names, guys.
We will. Thank you, Adara. We just took another piece out on Micron. Oh, Micron's even coming down even lower right now, so why not take another piece out? We'll punch some out there at 84, and here we go. We are now just slowly winding out of everything, and that includes that Micron. So there it is, the downside. And then we did also get back into here 91.80s for Nike. We take another piece out there at 88, and we're just waiting for that bid to fill up right now. I'm going to cancel all these bids that I have right now because we're just, as I said, just adding up some of this day. Nike will end the day here. It's 25 cents in the money. We were hoping for more of a downside push, but we'll take it. We've been, best fill is right here right now, so we might as well put a bid. Let's see if we get something a little bit lower. Make sure I'm trading the right stock here. Yeah, let's bid like 71, see if we can get out of that one. What's up, everybody? And then right here, Micron as well. Maybe a little downside push, but not much. That's bouncing off the 200. Let's put something down here in the mid-60s for Micron, see if we get that. And then we're going to go flip that over to the desk and get ready to bring you guys the recap show.
And it'll be a good one.
Yeah,
the total number, if we say 3.4,
I don't know.
It's 3.4 billion to the buy side. You saw Apple being 2 million, Microsoft being over 1 million, Alphabet being 1 million shares. Like that's going to lead to not a gigantic number, but a big number. NASDAQ just bounced up. I don't know if it gets green. I just punched out of Robinhood. It can't seem to break the $18 double bottom on Robinhood at 18. Essentially, the bottom range was 18 and a quarter down to 18 even, and it did it a couple of times here under a tremendous amount of pressure. In addition to Coinbase down 8.5 or more than that percent to the downside. Nasty, nasty day for them. The other one, I forgot to pull this one up. I meant to go over this as well, which was Mara. Mara super strong the last couple of sessions. Not as bad. You know, the miners don't do as bad. It seems to be more the platform names that got smoked. Bitcoin miners doing okay today. So I think if we hang on to 65,000, I would, even though it's a down day on Mara, I would wager it's still in this little tiny upward trend that it's got. So I still like the 21 break on Mara, despite what's happened to Coinbase. But, you know, it hasn't broken it yet. So alert out still for the 21 break on Mara, despite the 2.5% down day.
All right, shout out to Mara shareholders. We talked about getting that Mara down there at that 14 level, so you're getting close to that.
Triple bottom.
Yeah, we really like that level. All right, Micron, I guess we're not getting that very bottom. Instead of just getting punched out, like I said, let's just market it out, and we'll just punch out right there. We actually get O1s there, I believe. It's funny, we got O's there. Isn't that funny that we hit out at O's and I blink and it's at 05 again? You just see what happens when order flow hits the market. I mean, it's really crazy. We'll cancel our stop there. We'll also cancel our stop on Nike because into the close, we may not get any better prices than we currently see right now. So we'll put something on the bid of Nike and see if we can get hidden out of those shares. Let's just check out what Amazon's doing. So a nice bid down on Amazon. We were short this name, and I just wish we would have held on to it. Down 1% Amazon, probably worth a buy at some point for Amazon if it just keeps on going down. I really like this company. Amazon downside there. GME, just a quick.
It's tanking.
Yeah, all right, so there's something about GameStop right now. New lows on GameStop here into the close. We'll try, maybe we'll try something on AMC right now. See if we get a little bit of a short in case we get a little follow through here. We're gonna try to short AMC in and around 72, but GameStop is breaking. There goes AMC, we miss that short. And of course, remember I was waiting at, okay, now we're short. I was waiting at 72 there. Let's play an AMC short here into the close because GameStop is falling on its face. I don't know what's going on. Look at this seller right there. 200,000 shares at 28 right now, dumping it right there to the downside. So again, don't at me, apes. Or anybody. I might lose on this trade, so that would be one reason not to at me. But for right now, we're just trying to pay bills, man. My daughter plays hockey, and it's very expensive. So we're going to short AMC and really feel no ways about it right now. So there it is. Take it down. I mean, we're only taking a couple pennies here into the close. I got to get over the desk. But for right now, AMC, a little short side action there as GME's falling down. So
it's taking some things with it right now.
Yeah, probably is, man. Faraday, probably.
No, well, Hood broke the low. I'm going to guess Rivian. Rivian's been moving sometimes on sympathy. That went right back into its low of the day. So I feel like the squeeze name. Faraday probably just got smoked. I just hadn't looked at Faraday. I mean, okay, Faraday had just dropped 15% when that happened. So I would say effectively it kind of did a big move. Kraken, or it's not really Kraken, but it's that Crown. That did drop as well. So basically at that same time, it's like everyone hit the bid of the squeeze names after GameStop went to the downside. With only 3.5 minutes, Apple did pair off last I checked. So that 2 million buy on Apple, it's no longer there because it's after 355, and that's what generally happens. Kenvue
was there an imbalance, maybe?
Kenvue paired off as well, 830. I'm looking for GME. I don't see. If it's there, it's not over 500,000. Yeah, I don't see a big one on GME, but it could have been. Look, even 100,000 on GME is kind of big. So it could have been there. I just didn't see it.
It might take out this 28.
There at all. But yeah, big move down on GameStop. Brought almost all those squeeze names down with it. As I said, Kenvue was going to pair off, and it did. So hopefully no one got wrapped up in thinking 4 million was going to be a big deal for Kenvue, because that's now paired off. It is working to the downside, but it went like 7 or 8 cents. So not a huge move there because it was expected.
All right. Look, we talk about this all the time. I mean, there's various traders that have been here from day one, and you can all see real trading. And you know that Neil and I sit here, we put on our shares, we put on our positions, and I try to do the very best to explain to you every single thing that I'm doing. So we'll add it. It will be a great day for us at 11 and 1. But at the same time, AMC, right now we just put on another trade. We're sort of starting to add to this. We are getting a little bit of a move down here. I feel pretty good about everything. Tesla. I'm just excited for tomorrow at this point. Nike, again, not doing much. Check in on Baba. I love this name, man. I mean, we'll try to buy some more into our long term there. All right, let's go. I got to get over to the desk. Like, it's too bad, though, because I think AMC could go down even lower. I'm bidding 63s right now. Get through 65. We'll break 64. Yeah, Derek can handle this show. You know, she's pretty good. That's why. You know, that's what's going on. No, I'm in no rush, to be honest with you. We'll get over there when we're ready. And right now, AMC, hopefully a nice little push down in here into the close, but we may just have to cover it right now as we're bouncing some off at 65. There we go. You just put something on the bid and you get filled. So nice fill there on that one. But dark pools is really what's filling. We're not getting all of our shares, which is kind of strange. We're getting part filled. So there it is. We got some more. Oh, that's why I used the wrong gateway. You don't want to use like an ARCA or something like that. You want to make sure that you're using something that maybe you have to pay slightly for, because that way when you're getting hit to the downside, you're not last in line.
Yeah.
So you don't want to be last in line and get the last one to get the fill. But normally when there's this much liquidity, you're all good on that as well. Like
GME
right
just broke back up.
Yeah, okay, we just got that ARCA fill down there as well. So, all right, we gone. That's it. That's a hell of a day right there. Fire off the hot dog cannon. I'll see everybody back on the other desk. We're having a good mood. I have no idea what the recap show is going to be like other than hot, super hot fire like it always is. So I'll see everybody over there in just a couple seconds. Peace.
Let's get on to it. We have less than 30 seconds to go in here. Like, there's nothing that really stood out outside of that GameStop and all that nonsense. There was a move on this BCAN late in the day, so I'm going to put that on my radar for tomorrow. Like a very late random breakout. I don't even know why this moved, but really, really late in the day from like $1.20 to $1.50. So I do want to have this on the radar because of that dollar break. But you saw what happened. What goes up can also come down, and when it does, it can be really nasty on some of these penny stocks or whatever you want to call them. Let's get on over to Derek. Get it off me. This bell brought to you by True Trading Group. Ring it in 2 and 1. Like today, supercharge your trading. Opportunities abound anywhere and everywhere in the market with Chinese ADRs like Alibaba, with earnings names like Walmart, with penny stocks like Faraday Futures, with not Kraken, if you're going to be in that one as well. The chip names also making some power moves. You saw NVIDIA all over the place. Marvell was a little bit of a surprise. We were able to get to that short, but Marvell was super strong. I had no idea until it was pointed out to me in the chat. Thank you for everybody who was mentioning that Marvell was strong, because I hadn't even looked at the stock. And then there was a head and shoulders on it by absolute random. The NASDAQ's going to end up 0.3 to the downside. There was that last push. That's why we flipped it to the bear and went only into shorts at the end of the day. The ES also going to be down 0.3%. GameStop, I actually wanted to check just for you guys. Where did GameStop end up closing here? Oh, it's still going lower. GameStop's still heading lower. It broke back at above 28 right at the close, and now it's down at 27.30. I'm going to guess AMC at the low of the day on AMC. No further breakdown at all. Shout out to you, Bears versus Bulls. We absolutely love you. AMAT looks like they might be out already on earnings. I will give big shout out to Fabian and Ramin on the 1s and 2s like we always say. And a great job, as always, Brendan and Frank giving us the goods. Yeah, AMAT down 1.6%. They would have reported not a ton of volume after market, and I haven't really seen the numbers. But you guys let me know when we're ready to go. Oh, shout out to Sharif as well, despite the fact that he led me astray with that non-Kraken stock. It's all good. We have a lot of fun around here. That was Crown Electronics. But AMAT's already out. They're down. Not a ton of volume, only 2% into the downside. There's that. There's the review and more at the desk. We've got Fabian at there along with Adara and Sean. It's your market. No? Okay, we're still going. No, that's fine. We can chill out here. I'm going to shout out you guys in here in the chat if that's what we're going to be doing. We got to let the boys get ready. Okay, now you have a bit of a bigger move down. I just saw another wick down on AMAT continuing to go lower here. So a little bit of a recovery, but AMAT had a nasty wick down there. I'm seeing people saying FFIE is making some moves. So I want to make sure we go to that. FFIE, no, not doing anything. The story is still going to be AMAT. The big earnings name. Now going to the upside. AMAT now pressuring up. It's at 218. Let's get on to the market recap. Clearly it must have been the guidance or something here. We'll get to it with Adara and Sean.
All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the recap show. Thank you to everybody that's right here right now, man. Everyone's staying late with us as real traders stay late. Not real traders. Traders stay late. I keep thinking real trading.
Yeah.
It's just traders stay late. It's just
yeah.
traders with ridiculous hats stay late. All right. So we just had AMAT. I mean, what a day we had today. Honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a wild day. From meme stocks to Alibaba to Apple off the open. To every single thing that we touched today seemed to be pretty good, man. AMC, GameStop was great, even into the close. FXI up another 2.93% as Chinese names rock and roll today. Great guest. We had a great guest with Frank on today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and a big shout out to every single person that's with us right now. Look at AMAT, Adara. AMAT trying to go back up right now. What was a bad, I mean, when I heard Neil saying AMAT was downside, it was down to 206. Now basically flat here for Applied Materials. That move making that one into the downside now for AMAT. So I'm going to open up the doc here and find out what was expected. But do you have what those numbers were?
I do have those numbers, and they're not bad. We did get here adjusted earnings per share $2.09 versus the estimate of $1.99. That's going to be a beat. We also had here sales for the quarter 6.646 billion versus 6.53 billion expected. That's also going to be a beat. So everything I'm seeing, they beat. Q2 adjusted net income as well, 1.744 billion versus 1.66 billion expected. So yeah, they also forecast above expected here. So there's not really anything I'm seeing that would be a big cause for them to move to the downside right now anyway. Beat on forecast apparently, and they definitely beat on numbers.
Good, great. The one that I'm expecting to be a nice little mover, thank you, Adair, for that one, is out right now, soon. Anyways, 25 comes, I'm going to take this hat off. We have coming out, we'll just keep it right here. We have Take Two. I'm excited for Take Two for a couple of reasons. Why? Because we have Grand Theft Auto. So when Grand Theft Auto hits, I'm excited for Take Two. Let's see if their numbers or anything. I actually want to, get this out of my ear. I actually want to buy weakness in Take Two. So any sort of a move down, that would have been a good spot down there at 140. Let's find out for Take Two. Expected EPS 0.09 on revenue of 1.3 billion. Its expected move is 7%. So
we got the numbers.
We did get the numbers. Okay, so let's just see what's happening here on the quick move. We might get that dream to buy Take Two, Fabian, down here in and around. Bless you. Down here, hey, down here at 126 and going lower right now for Take Two, Adara, actually going a lot lower. I should put some bids down here. I don't mind those prices. Down into 126. What exactly is happening right now to Take Two, Adara?
Well, here's the thing. This forecast these quarterly net bookings, not great. Not the forecast, the actual net bookings we got. So 3% decrease here to 1.35 billion. In terms of the numbers that we got themselves, Q4 revenue, slight beat, 1.4 bill versus 1.3 bill expected. So that's a little bit of a beat here. But that basically, from what I can tell here, that decrease in net bookings by 3%, not necessarily being taken too well here by the market. Seeing what other numbers we get here. Yeah, they're forecasting Q1 total net revenue 1.3 bill to 1.35 bill. Forecasting net loss per share 158 to 143. So these are kind of the numbers we're getting. Not seeing comparisons in for the guidance there, but that decrease in net bookings is the main negative thing I'm seeing right now.
Thank you, Darren. Right here, you got that right, Diggle Boy. The after party is happening. This is our show. You know, we do what we want when we want to. As long as they agree, like Fabian and Ramin, so they agree, so okay. Right there, shout out to everybody who's here right now. We will do roll call at the end of the day as well. We'll just right now, sector recap. Let's get going with that. We'll just check in one more time. Ooh, my net is loading up. NVIDIA right now, 942 price. All right, just real quick. Let's just check out Take Two. So Take Two, good number, bad number, good report from Adara. Look at that drop down to 122, as if. I would love that price. Oh man, we want to buy dips on Take Two Interactive, moving 20+% here in after hours. Like you went from 146 down $23 down there, now all the way back to 139. Buy some dips, I think, in Take Two. And then of course, Applied Materials, kind of snoozing right now, downside on AMAT, but it's had a nice run and at all-time highs. So AMAT, little exhaustion right now. I think you could buy all the strength in AMAT as well there. So we're looking to buy some AMAT if it gets a little weaker than where we are right now, but not the greatest report coming through for AMAT. All right, in what was a little bit of a strange day now that I look at all this, we had a lot of negativity. Like, I didn't realize there was just this many sectors that were up. I mean, FXI, we keep talking about this. We've gone over and over and over. Hey, Danielle, I see you waiting. Look at this hat that I got on. This is my Good Luck Blue Jay hat. We went 11-1 today. You just bought this at lunchtime. You know, not bad. Get this hat off me. All right, there it is right now. All right, thanks, Adara, for the clapping. Cover up the not much hair that I have. All right, 29 and change. I mean, look at FXI. I mean, it's a beautiful move there off of the 50 period, off of the 200. That's the 200 there, that's the 50. These might be the wrong way around, but right now we'll find out. Actually, I'm gonna check that out right now. Let me just go into this here and see what do we have. Yeah, the 50 and the 200. Okay, so the 50 was below the 200. All right. Oh. So a nice little aggressive move there back in now upside for FXI, led the way by Alibaba. Alibaba was awesome today. It just started breaking up. We did get a great report from them. Remember the $25 billion buyback that's in this name, that is Alibaba. And then today we get a report from Citron where they're going long on Alibaba. So you know what we did here as a day trade on Alibaba? Oh, geez. This was one of my favorite trades of the day. Alibaba's been on my mind for a very, very long time. So let me just move this over. When that Citron report came out, we were already up $2 or $3 on the day. We were waiting for VWAP, waiting for some kind of pullback. As you see, that doesn't happen. The report comes out, we punch long at 84 Adara, and then managed to find a dip down opportunity there at 83.65, and then boom, boom. Our best out on the last 20% or so is 86.50 Adara.
That's amazing. That is like almost a $3 winner. That is fantastic. Shout out to Sean.
Not almost.
Oh, it was?
Yeah. That's okay. No worries. No worries. We'll take the shout out. We like that. Right there. That was a good trade there for Alibaba. So back over to what we're talking about now, and that is these sectors. So we do have Danielle Shea in the wing. She'll be coming out in just a couple of minutes. TAN right there. Nice downside move for TAN today. The solar sector. I don't know. If rates are going to remain where they are, then obviously that's not great for solar. But we already know that, especially with some of these readings that we've had over the last, although jobless claims today a little bit higher than expected, 222 versus 219, market kind of shrugs that off. We were just at all-time highs on NASDAQ yesterday, on S&P, well, we opened up there today, S&P, NASDAQ, and the diamonds, the Dow Jones 30, all at all-time highs this morning. So a little bit of a pullback to be expected. What did we wind up down on the ES? Basically quarter of a point today down on the ES. There it is, a little bit of a move down. I would say by weakness, especially into the 50 period. I definitely like that. Adara, let's just go over a quick couple stocks here.
Let's do it.
And talk about what happened throughout the day here again today. So the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ followed their all-time highs. We just talked about that Wednesday with a flat day of trading. Despite there be a couple different moves throughout the day with different Fed speakers. Fed's Mester came through, so we saw that happen. Fed's Barkin, Barr, Harker, and Bostic all ran out throughout the day.
Oh, yeah.
They cannot get enough press. You know, I like... We had that yesterday. Remember we had that Muppets, and there was those guys in the, I still can't remember their names.
Statler and Waldorf. Statler and Waldorf, the old Muppet Man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Statler and Waldorf.
And they sit there on the operas or in the,
and they're like,
and they sort of like heckle and do stuff like that.
I love
so
them.
that's kind of what I think all these Fed talking heads are like right there. But okay, consumer staples. Let's just go back over to the chart quickly. Consumer staples significantly outperformed its peers due to, where is it? Where's Walmart? There's Walmart right there. What's up to Walmart? What's up to a Danielle Shea favorite of Costco as well? That's a nice move there, of 0.77. Costco. We had all-time highs on Costco. You got to buy those dips as well. Oh, I know what I'm going to talk to Danielle about. Maybe it's my time to get into some Deere.
Oh.
Some DE, because today, you watch this. Deere's probably all the way back up. This always happens to me. I told Danielle on the show last time, I was like, you know what, I really want to buy some Deere next time it comes into 350. And you know what, how low it got? It got to 353, so that was a nice story.
Oh.
And we didn't get long, needless to say. But John Deere, is it still? No, it's Deere and Company. I keep saying John Deere. Let me put an anchored VWAP on this
I
bottom.
always feel like it is John Deere. I always feel like I'm saying John Deere maybe.
Yeah, I
Not
feel like
Deere.
you're right on that one. The anchor VWAP right there, 388, 389, 390. So I think we're getting into a level where we could also buy Deere, but I'm going to ask Danielle Danielle about that one. And then really what else led the way? I mean, a Home Depot, we talked about this potentially to the downside. This might have been with Danielle last week. We talked about Walmart versus Home Depot. Could have been with someone else, but Home Depot not in the right frame of mind, down 1.7% here today as well, off earnings May 14th. So Home Depot's already reported, trying to get going and looking to bounce off the 200 period moving average. So again, pretty good. I don't know if we've had any more earnings come through, nothing of significance.
No.
The big ones that we were looking at, of course, was AMAT today. So let's just check in on the temperature there. AMAT down 2.58%. But again, what we've learned is if we don't move outside of the expectation, then we may not get the huge explosion one way or the other the very next day. AMAT today, expected move 5.2%. So options giving us that move, and right now only down 2%, 2.8%. So that's something else. And then Take Two. This is the name that honestly, even when we're done this, I might just go into the account. Like that 122, look at this on the daily. Give me those numbers again in 1 second, and then I'm going to go to Danielle. Why did this drop into basically last March? So a year ago, I mean, last May, a year ago, numbers, Take Two. We know about Grand Theft Auto. I know you were saying net bookings. Is that what it is?
I think I found something else.
Okay, give it to me, Adele.
Yeah, and it has to do with Grand Theft Auto.
Are they delaying the release?
Well, no, they said that their outlook reflects, quote, the narrowing of Rockstar Games' window of calendar 2025 to the fall of calendar 2025 for Grand Theft Auto 6. So basically saying that now they're seeing, Rockstar Games is seeing Grand Theft Auto come out later in 2025. That's why they had apparently a narrowing there in their outlook.
I mean, that does not deserve that 15 or 18% drop, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, we're just reading what they said. Yeah.
My humbled opinion.
Your humbled opinion.
Yeah, something like that. All right, when we are ready, and are we ready? Then it's time for Trader Talk. All right, it's Miss Danielle Shea. Thank you so much for joining us one more time here on the Market Recap. How was your day?
It was great. How was yours?
It was pretty good. You know, we had a pretty decent day. We traded a little bit of AMC today. We traded a little bit of GameStop. We traded a little bit of everything today, and it was a really, really good one. We didn't trade any marijuana names. They started going at the end of the day. Not too many sectors up today. We had China up. You have any plays on right now in the Chinese space, Alibaba, anything like that?
Well, I'm happy to look at Alibaba with you. I don't have any trades on, but I remember you were talking about this one last week, or was it Neil? I think it was Neil. He was asking me about this chart because he said he wanted to buy it on a potential earnings breakout.
Yeah, we had bought, so he did get some, I think around $80 or so. We've been buying Alibaba, Danielle, from that bottom in and around 70, just noticing some support down there and really just taking a shot on the broader market of China. And I mean, I look at Alibaba's numbers and when I see buybacks, you were live on the show with me when Apple dropped that buyback of $110 billion. Alibaba's $25 billion. Like, we talk about Apple, how big that was. Alibaba just chilling out with 25 and kind of going under the radar. So I like the business there. We love Amazon around here. We love sort of that Internet of Things that's happening. They're big into this, into data as well in cloud. I like Alibaba. So from a position that you're standing over there or sitting like me, what does Alibaba look like now? I think we're off to the races, even potentially seeing $100 soon.
I like it. You know, whenever you see a chart like this make a reversal after an earnings report, and especially when you can see it break out above critical resistance zones. I mean, we've broken through the 50 simple, the 100 simple, and I mean, the main zone that I wanted to see it above was the 200 simple, which is this pink line on my chart right here. So when it broke 79.5, there you go. You have it. You know, you're up on high volume. It's up 7%. So anytime you see a breakout above that zone, you just want to look a little bit further back on the chart and see where you have those critical resistance areas. And typically every time you can get through a resistance zone, it'll generally get another, boost of volume. So this would be the next area of resistance that I'd be looking for a breakout. It'd just be above about 86.5, let's call it 87. But at that point, I mean, as you mentioned, you could target up into the next resistance zone at 95 and then up into 100, as long as, of course, the momentum keeps going. But right here looks great.
I mean, what Alibaba does have is a great love language, that of volatility.
That's right. You like my new shirt?
I do. I really like that. People in the chat like that as well. So we'll talk about where they can find that. Go find Trader Danielle all over the place. We'll get to that in just a minute. You know what name was really, really good? And you and I talked about this for sure. Disney. Give you a second to go call that up. Disney's got beat up. I don't know. I mean, they said no to Nelson Peltz, and then the stock said no to any bulls. And it just went all the way back down. We were really, really good about this, Danielle, because we're able to get out on the way up. We really bought this thing sort of the same way as Alibaba. Just liked the company, thought it was too depressed down here. We got into $80. I mean, that was COVID lows when literally everything was shut down. I mean, you know, we're now open. They're talking about Disney Plus becoming profitable in hopefully late Q3, maybe Q4. Bob Iger talking all about that. The problem with Disney now, though, of course, is not just their subscription model, I think it could work, is content. It's becoming so expensive to renew. We just saw Netflix today, Danielle, talking about NFL games. They already have that boxing fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. Everybody now getting very excited about content. Disney getting pulled back in here. I think it looks broken. Earnings hadn't helped. We were all the way up here at 115, now straight down from there. I don't know, man. All gaps get filled. It looks like that's happening to Disney. What are you seeing on this, and is there any potential options plays in and around Disney with earnings in the rearview mirror?
Well, first of all, I agree with everything you said. I mean, Disney did have a reversal down here at these lows, down around 85, but at this point, it's definitely broken. That's why you really have to be careful about these counter trend longs, because you want to focus on all of the critical resistance zones as it goes higher. And then if it starts to lose momentum, that's the point where you just got to get out. I mean, for me, on a daily chart, when a ticker breaks through the 50 simple, that's generally the spot I can start shorting it. In this case, that's going to be this yellow line. And so, I mean, you can see after it got through that 50 simple, I mean, it wasn't able to recover and get back above it. You had this one day that was a fake out, but other than that, every time it hit that zone, it continued lower. And then what you eventually see is another breakdown and another spot to short it at the 100 simple. So at this point, I think the next downside target is going to be the 200 simple, which I have at about 96.45.
Yep, same thing. Don't like when we get pulled back into the 200, but thanks for the analysis. I'm sort of feeling the same way right there about Disney. Miss Adara has a question.
I do. Hi, Danielle. Thank you so much for being here. I actually was wondering your thoughts on NVIDIA heading into earnings next week. If there's anything you're kind of looking at, any particular levels you like, especially with this pop very close to all-time highs that we got over the last few days.
Oh, definitely. So I love NVIDIA. And I mean, we've been talking about this one for a bit. I think we talked about it with you guys last week, but the first target that I had on this was 950. That was my major key psychological value line in the sand. We did actually come up and hit that. We surpassed it a little bit today. So at this point, I kind of look at it and say, all right, we've met the quote unquote easy target, which would be the resistance zone. The reason why it's the easy target is because the stock has been there before, right? So once you've hit that zone, I tend to be a little bit more conservative because yes, I do think that 975 and then 1,000 are the next upper price targets, but you just need to be a little bit careful once it already makes this big move. So we're getting pretty close to the earnings report at this point. You know, you have that earnings report next Thursday. And once you start to see it lose momentum, that's when you see people taking profits. So I wouldn't get into this one at this point, but if you're already in and you want to stay in, you just need to be careful when it starts losing momentum. And if it doesn't, then next target, 975 and then 1,000.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I appreciate that. I think that certainly getting into that 975 and 1,000 could be a really interesting look as well. Thank you for going over that. I'm sure a lot of people excited for that one heading into the earnings.
Yeah, Danielle, what do you think about my hat, by the way?
I love your hat. I think
you.
it's amazing.
Perfect, thank you. All right, so thank you for that. Look, Danielle, I just asked I know you're in the chat quite often, so I just put in there that we may do a little Q&A. So stay tuned. We'll get some questions in the chat, and I might fire them at you. Cool with that?
Of course.
Okay, good. Loaded question. I kind of knew what your answer would be.
We already have some, actually.
Yeah, I'm not ready for those
Okay,
yet.
never mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. One stock I want to talk to you about was Microsoft. Okay, so you and I talked about this. I feel like we missed it because we were very bullish sort of about the earnings report. We did fall into it. We did hit this level back down into 390. I guess got hit down there. I didn't think there was too many problems with that report. Didn't really come into too much major support. I mean, maybe if anything, 370 could have been something that we were targeting to get long. I did not buy this dip right now. But as Microsoft goes back up into all-time highs again, I think this is one of the best looking stocks because we haven't hit those highs and there wasn't really anything wrong with that report. I have a feeling you agree with me here again, but potentially not, and it's okay not to. I like Microsoft going long here into what I think is going to be a good summer for some of these tech names.
I completely agree with you. And I'll point out that Microsoft seasonality is typically really strong, especially as you get into the end of June and into July, running into the July earnings season. It's one of my favorite trades that I do every year. And you know, this dip on this stock, it was crazy. It broke down below the 50 simple, the setup I was just talking about. And, you know, typically you can short stuff when it breaks that 50 simple and returns to it. But in this case, when it returned to the 50 simple the second time and it broke through there, I mean, that was the shift in trend. That was the buy. And once you were able to hover around that zone and continue higher, I mean, at this point, the trade is definitely to the previous all-time high at 430. And then after that, I'm looking for 440.
Okay, good. I mean, I knew you liked Microsoft. The first question coming from Bears vs. Bulls, who's our moderator. And this is a good one, Danielle. So get ready. Please ask Danielle about her merch. So if you have that all locked and loaded, I mean, we can talk about that real quickly. Are you up and selling any of that yet? I know you were in the process of getting that all going, but you've really, you know, impressed a lot of our viewers here with some of those sweaters and t-shirts you've been wearing.
Oh, thank you. You know, I'm not selling anything yet, but right now I'm just in the phase where I'm making designs, I'm printing designs, I'm testing out designs, I'm trying to see what I like, what kind of, if I should make black t-shirts or white t-shirts or sweatshirts or zip-ups or all that kind of stuff. So I'm having some fun with it right now.
All right. Well,
and I'm working on the testing phase, but I'll definitely, you know, post something when it becomes more ready for everyone else.
Perfect.
What do you guys think about this one?
I really like, I mean, anything with a bull. I mean, we're always pretty bullish around here. So I really like all of them, Danielle, you know. I mean, for a very low sponsorship price, I mean, I can wear it on the show, and that would be just send me one, and we'll do that. So we'll get that going as well, Danielle. I still got to get you that Trader TV Live hoodie. We have some of those for sale. You can get our merch as well. All right, let's go over now to Adara, who has a couple questions for you, Miss Danielle Shea.
Hi, this one's from Comp SRX in the chat, wanting to know your thoughts on the Lulu stock. This one definitely has been a bit of more of a beat-up retail name. So yeah, do you have any thoughts on Lulu right now?
Oh, sure. Let me check it out. Ooh, yikes.
Yeah, so Lululemon right now getting hit off Nike, Walmart with a good report today, but Lulu definitely downside there, Danielle.
Nobody's buying any more expensive stretchy pants.
I kind of am, but yeah.
So looking at this chart, this is what I would call an earnings destruction setup. So you previously had a ticker that was really strong. You know, everybody is like, oh, the nice stretchy pants, we got to get those. And it was on fire. But then what happened was you had two earnings reports in a row where the stock ended up gapping down and losing momentum. This one was particularly destructive because you had an initial gap down, it rallied, but then it had this nasty reversal at the 50 simple. You had another break at the 50 simple, but this one's really the kicker here. So do you see how last quarter it gapped down 13% and it gapped below the 200 simple, and it's been trading lower pretty much all quarter? Typically, when I have a ticker like that and it's going into the next earnings report, I'll generally try to short it before the report for the 2 to 3 weeks prior. So I'm a little bit late on that just because the timing that I get in usually as a swing trader would be right around here. But it has a squeeze, which means that there's that consolidation building up that could easily break out. And what typically happens with this kind of stock is people are nervous, right? Especially if they've been holding it since all the way up in here. I mean, this was previously a really hot stock and it's at a major reversal. So a lot of the time investors will try to bail before an earnings report because they're nervous that a 13% or worse drop can happen again. So it can generally give you a pretty good swing trade before the report. Now, that's not to say the report will be terrible. Because, you know, if you look at the last report, they did beat their EPS estimates. But generally for me, that's a good pre-earnings trade that I can use.
Thank you so much for going over that. Appreciate the whole thought process behind it as well. Now, these next two names have been very heavily asked for in the chat. So Sean and I want to know, if you had to choose one of these mega cap names for a swing trade, Meta or Amazon, which one would you be looking at?
Oh, let me see. So, you know, I just posted a video on my YouTube channel about Amazon. I was trading Amazon and I actually got out right near this high. So, I mean, that one I had kind of already gotten in and gotten out. The reason why I was trading that one is because I like these breakouts above the 50 simple. So I got into this one when it had this consolidation, it had the squeeze, and I traded this move. At this point, I feel like it's already, you know, the move already lost momentum and it's already pulled back. I will definitely watch this stock and I will wait for it to consolidate again and build up some energy and trade it later on because it is one of the best stocks out there right now. But I don't think I can take an entry on it right now. If you look at Meta, this one, it's interesting to me because it's getting close to that 50 simple breakout zone. And so like we talked about with Microsoft and some of these others, it just has to trade a little bit higher, up above 487. If it could get up above that zone and we could see a 50 simple breakout and trend reversal, I would love to trade that. Now, conversely, if you don't get that and you stay below this level, you get up here and you start rolling over, like we could short it. That's really the main line in the sand for me. You know, I'll take trades off of the 50 simple, whether it's a trend reversal breakout or a continuation to the downside. We just don't have the answer which one it's going to be just yet. But I think Meta is setting up better for a trade right here.
Oh, Miss Danielle Shea, you took us all the way into 4:30, so much appreciated for that. All right, you talked about dropping some videos on your YouTube. And by the way, I just got to give a big shout out to Bears vs. Bulls. Come over to my screen. Our moderator right now, Danielle, is literally dropping in all of your links right into our chat. So let's go over where we can find you. I'm assuming on YouTube, at Trader Danielle. Show me something, maybe one of the last videos you worked on, what you got in the pipeline. What do you want to tell our viewers? Over 2,700 of them.
Oh, definitely. Well, check it out. You can find me, Trader Danielle, on YouTube. The most recent videos that I've posted are right here in my Trader View segment. I talked about this 300% winner that I took on earnings. I was trading app. And, you know, I actually have filmed 2 unboxing videos with all of the merch that I've gotten recently, and I'm going to be posting those soon. So you can see a preview of everything that I haven't shown you yet.
Have you ever seen Ryan's Toys or Ryan's World or something like that? I used to watch that with my kid. There's like, it was unboxing like these, I don't know what it was, these little safes or something like that. You know what I'm talking about, Danielle?
Oh, I know what you're talking about, and it's apparently a thing. My younger brothers told me about it, and I thought, you know, I'm opening up the merch. I got to do a preview, so I'm just going to make an unboxing video. It's a little bit silly, but hey, why not?
That's Trader Danielle Shea. Thank you so much. Go find her on X and on YouTube. Once again, killing it. Stay in the chat if you are for a couple minutes, maybe. I don't know. Traders are there now. So thank you for staying late with us, Ms. Danielle Shea, and have a great week and a great weekend. And then we have a long weekend next weekend. Here in Canada, it is this weekend, though. So thank you, Ms. Danielle Shea. Ciao. That's Trader Talk. All right, I got to scram. I mean, I got. Thank you for all the questions. I mean, I would have loved to have gone over more and more of them. I mean, we honestly get so many questions for Ms. Danielle Shea. You wrote on their AMC trade breakdown, so we can do that right now if you want to do that.
I did. Yeah, I was trying to think of trade reviews, and I know you were in that AMC. Sure. So yeah, for sure.
All right, let's do some AMC there. All right, so we wrote down here earlier on in the morning, right? We wrote down that we liked it. First of all, we have some pretty pretty nice tweets to go today, including all these wiped out stocks from the pandemic. I don't think we'll get a chance to look at them, maybe tomorrow. Look, today on the sticky note, we wrote down AMC 460 bottom, go long, right? And so unfortunately, the only trade that we had though today was a short right there on AMC when we heard that bear cave report. So that bear cave report came out right there about 10:30 and we went short. But the thing to note is, we wrote down, what level was it, Adara?
You wrote down 465.
Yeah, 460. The bottom of the day, 458. So I feel like, although that was a good look, that was the long right there. We could have taken the long, but instead we took the short. Plus we took the short at the end of the day there as well. So AMC, a pretty good day, although not super volatile today. I still like to trade it. Don't like to always go short necessarily, but the long was probably the better trade down there at 460. So we'll look to do that again tomorrow, 460 there for AMC. And then GME, we had a really good trade today, was the long. And we printed on that early, and then it kind of just really went to sleep as well there as we bought some 32s, which we wrote down on the sticky note as well. That got us all the way up to 34 before losing 32 and then getting out and leaving it all day. But it ends on the lows, down 31%. Look, it's time to go, but we're going to do roll call. Do I think GME, I mean, that's a good question here, Robbie V. Do I think GME can hold $27 tomorrow? No. I mean, can it? Yes, but I mean, just how weak it's been over the last little while, I still think there's some more downside pressure until we get a catalyst to go upside. So thank you so much to No Direction. That's still sitting here. $100 super chat. That meant a lot to us right there in Traders Day Late. I hope you're here with us right now as well. To Mr. No Direction. Shout out right here to Ian Rispetto. You can ask, I forgot to ask her about Deer, but maybe she's in the chat right now. Just go message her at Trader Danielle on X. She'll get back to you for sure. Thank you so much, Ian Rispetto. If you're still here, Danielle, hit that up as well.
Well, she responded in the chat.
Oh, she responded in the chat. Thank you so much, Danielle. Okay, here we go. Who's here for roll call right now? I might have missed some people, so let's scroll up a little bit. What's up to that Figga? We always like those Figgas for sure. What's up to Thomas? Robbie V, good question there as well. Henry Chung, thank you so much for being here. Rohit Sharma's here. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ian Rispetto. Have a great night, my guy. Joe Werner's here. Danielle Shea, thank you so much. What a great guest that is. Rivian Millionaire. You know, either shorted the top or bought early, you can make millions on Rivian. You can do it on any stock, right? Hey, Mr. The Piper's here. Heidi, hi, I like that one. Toilet brush, a very good brush. Do not confuse it with a toothbrush.
Please don't. Please do not confuse it with a toothbrush. And don't do the other way around either.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
What's up, Alex S? What's up, Bristol? What's up, Mike Breeze? Yeah, Hockey Nation's in the building. That's for sure. Volky, Michael P, DJ Marshall, Blue Pill. Yeah, whatever pill you guys want. Astra, yo, Survey, Krishna's here, Michael P's here, Chandler's here. So one of my kids has golf. He has hockey right now from 4 to 5. Then he has chess from 6 to 7. And my daughter has... it's called a stride machine. So you actually go without your skates, and it's some kind of machine that works on your stride for skating.
That's very cool.
Yeah, so we're going to do that. So I got to go home and pick her up. That starts at 6. So thank you to everybody for watching. Thanks to Derek. Great questions there today for Miss Danielle Shea. Thank you to our guest, Danielle Shea, as well. And thank you to everybody that's watching Traders Stay Late. And this has been your market recap show, which we'll do tomorrow on a Friday. And that's Ask Us Questions. What do they call those?
AMA Reddit.
AMA.
But not on Reddit, it's here.
Ask us pretty much anything tomorrow.
Yeah.
Adara and I live here on your market recap show. It's her favorite show. I think you just got excited for that.
I love being in the market recap.
Go Jays, go.
You and I, like tossing questions around back and forth is always fun. And shout out to the Jays.
Yeah. Hopefully they can get some wins going right here. All right. Thank you so much to everybody. We're back tomorrow at 8:30. So find us all over socials. Sean, Adara, at Trader TV, Sean and Adara. Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, guys.